Hey guys, big announcement. Trash Taste is officially going on tour.
So we can't give too many details right now, but we do talk about it quite a bit in this video. So we just wanted to let you guys know there will be more information coming at a later date very soon.
Anyway, guys, on with the episode.
Did you ever have to look into security?
No, because no one was like doing any nefarious shit. To
Right.
me. Well,
Yeah.
I say that, but somebody did mail a tub of shit to a company address that I was registered at.
I
But
shouldn't laugh, but that's very funny.
it was in like a Tupperware kind of thing. But like,
Here is your tub of horseshit, sir.
So how long did it take you guys to realize it was horseshit?
it was probably after my third spoonful that I
Top of the morning to you, laddies.
Oh my fucking god.
Welcome back to another episode of Trash Taste Podcast.
I apologize.
maybe I'm not ready.
Apparently we weren't ready either.
That's how I'm starting it off. Welcome to the Trash Taste Podcast. I'm Joey, and I'm with Connor and Gon, as always. And I had to do that intro because of this guy sitting next to me. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm the token Irishman for today.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we
Have you ever had an Irish person on your podcast?
I don't
No.
believe we have. No.
I mean, I don't know many Irish people to begin
Yeah.
with, so
Me neither.
yeah. But yeah, we got Jacksepticeye on.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What?
How you been?
That's very aggressive.
How are you today?
Tearing me down.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay. Jeez. Yeah. Woke up a little bloated, but I'm feeling fine now. Like, what else? Like, my stool was good. Like, what else do you want to know? Nah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Yeah, because you were telling us earlier that you've only done like a few podcasts in your entire YouTube career, which, considering how long you've been on YouTube, absolutely like is like really surprising to me.
I mean, no one asks. Everyone has their podcast. Like,
Is that the secret? Just ask.
I
yeah.
think it's because they're scared to ask, you know, because when someone's like
Yeah.
kind of like well known and big, it's like, oh, if I ask, am I
You're just too famous, Sean.
yeah, that's the problem.
I'm very intimidating. Whenever people see me online, it's like, it's too scary. What if he yells at me?
I feel like when you're known as being nice as well, it's even scary. Actually.
Yeah.
What if they're just a monster?
What if I'm
Yeah.
the one
What
guy
What if they're just
where Sean is on call with, you know? Like,
Bro, if you send the DM, they don't reply back, you're just like, you're destroyed for the year.
yeah, you're just fucked. Yeah. But I guess I don't think there's anyone watching this episode today who doesn't know
probably
who
is.
you are.
There probably is.
But just in case there is, just in
Yes.
case there's a person who's been under a rock, can you very briefly explain what you do
No.
in a non-cynical way, if possible?
I started off doing gaming videos on YouTube, and it's since progressed into mainly gaming, but kind of everything.
Right.
I've done a
Right.
tour. I have a coffee company. I have a clothing company. None of which I have with me, which is very
Probably would have been the best time to
Yeah.
promote
yeah.
that.
I just have it stickered all over me.
Yeah.
We'll get our editors to put it on screen, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's all
Put it over
good.
Joey's face.
Not why.
Yeah, buy that.
I'm like the same complexion as a coffee bean, so just put it on top. There you go.
I didn't say that.
But yeah, and then you have amassed how many fucking subscribers now? Like 700 million, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's a lot. It's a lot. What do you want right now?
That's like 28.4, I think.
Yeah, just a
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah. It's
I-
slowed down a lot, but
Yeah.
it's
At which, like, I gotta ask, at which number did you just like stop like looking at it and just stop caring about it? Because I think every big YouTuber I've talked to, they reach a point and then they just forget what number that they're at.
Yeah. I think it was after 6 million, I think was when, because they were coming in so quick and so often that it was like after 6, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do with this anymore.
Right.
Like 1 million is like a big deal for everyone. And then you hit 5, and then like between 5 and 10 is a little nebulous.
Yeah.
What's going on? And
Right.
I didn't know why people were there, and I was just trying not to annoy anybody, to piss them off or get them to go away. So I was like, let's keep my head down and stay going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then-
none of us are at that point.
no. Everyone.
Can't relate.
Yeah, can't relate.
It's probably more of like a time exposure more than it is like a milestone. I think I think subscriber milestones are kind of easy to judge your time on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where they
Right.
happen, you kind of
Yeah.
remember them. But I think for everybody, it's kind of like a time base. After like a couple of years, you kind of
Yeah.
settle into it. You know who you are and what you're doing. And
Yeah, that's
so,
I think.
so like, how long have you been on YouTube? Like, when was the exact beginning where you started your first uploads?
end of 2012. So I'll be 10 years at the end of this year. Like
Oh,
very
damn.
end, like End of November, start of December.
You
Thank
survived.
For some reason, I thought it was way longer than 10 years. Because you seem like it feels like you've been around since basically like the start of the
beginning,
platform.
yeah.
At least like from my perspective. So hearing that it's not even 10 years, that like blows my mind actually.
Yeah, it's really weird because I'm technically at like the second generation. So you have like Smosh and Tobuscus and all those guys, first gen.
Right.
And then for the longest time, I wasn't even considered the second wave. That people said that I was like adding into the tail end of that. And then
Right.
now a certain amount of time has gone by, and everyone's convinced I've been since the beginning. So
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened. But
Do people still use the whole generation thing for even for like newer YouTubers now, or is it just talking about more?
Yeah,
of
like
the
what
olds?
generation are we in right
Yeah,
now?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's like 12th generation YouTuber.
I think people just know the cycles when they come in, but no one has a
Right.
generation anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I remember I think it was much easier to define generations back then because one, people gave a shit about things like YouTube Rewind, so it was much easier to like segregate to like, oh, okay, I recognize these faces. Oh, and there's a lot of new faces to YouTube
Yeah, that's
Rewind,
very true.
and then suddenly you're just like, I do not know anyone in this video.
I think it's also because, like, you know, during the first couple of generations, there was like a literal handful of people that were like the ones that made it,
Yeah.
right? But now
Yeah.
it's like, how many people would you consider the ones that made it? You
There's
know?
a lot of channels now that have like 50+ million subscribers that you wouldn't.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
like
Never
a
happened.
I did like a higher or lower thing where you like guess YouTube subs. It's like a new updated version of it with current stats.
Right.
And I
Right.
went through it and it was like this person versus this person. I was like, well, I think there are Spanish YouTubers. I was like, they're going to have a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
I was like, I have no idea who this person is. And it was like 40 versus 50 million.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of any of them.
yeah.
Crazy. Because the rewinds went international then as well and started involving like Japanese people. And
Yeah.
Absolute people and
I forgot about that. Yeah.
got even wilder.
I'm assuming you've been in YouTube Rewinds then.
Yeah, I think I've been in 2, but I've never been there in person.
Right.
Because every time they asked me, I either had something going on or they asked me to do some fucking stupid shit where it was like, you get on a green screen and like pretend you're falling through space. Because that was the year like the Katy Perry.
Oh yeah.
I'm not doing that. I just won't be in it this year.
You cannot pay me any amount of money to do that.
Yeah. It felt like everyone was in it for like clout to be like, that's me, I'm in it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
myself.
Because even if you are in it, you're probably in it for like 1 second
Yeah.
at most, right?
If I'm in it, I want to be in it for something like cool or good or like you act a thing out or something. I was like, I don't want to be like, everyone thinks I'm cringe already. I don't want to be in it for like wacky on a
think you're
fucking
cringe?
green screen. Well, back then they did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That
Wait,
makes
what
sense.
year was that? Like,
I think that was like 2016 or 17.
Oh,
era.
okay,
Like
yeah,
green
yeah,
hair
yeah.
era.
right.
Oh, okay.
So it was like the peak of when I was like a caricature of myself, and then everyone
Yeah.
expected like a certain thing. And
Well, actually, that's an interesting question. Like, would you say at the beginning of your career you very much were like a caricature of yourself, and that you've kind of like changed your image as you've like evolved in your career here on YouTube?
I think in the beginning I was like someone else completely because I started off and I wasn't like being Irish or like being myself. So I was like, I'll speak clearly, and that was like, hello everybody, this is me. For some reason it just sounded American. I guess that's what I thought. Was
Right,
clear
right.
in my
It sounds
head.
like a Markiplier.
Yeah, I mean,
I do the same thing whenever I try and do an American accent. It just sounds like Markiplier.
yeah. Well, you have the tone,
Right.
Yeah.
But I think I was that for a while, and then I was like, no one's watching, no one cares, and I was like,
Right.
I'll lean into myself and my culture a bit more, and
Yeah.
like separate myself out, and that was where like Top of the Morning and everything started.
Yeah.
And then I think after like 4 or 5 years, then it was like peak caricature because then you're just, you know what people like, you know what they want to hear.
Yeah.
Like you guys will mention an anime or something some point in this episode, I imagine.
Yeah.
You go through the numbers. you know?
Yeah.
You clearly haven't watched the many episodes of Trash Taste.
Don't talk about it.
You're gonna just know what your audience wants
Yeah.
after a while, and
Right,
you're
right,
getting
yeah.
into that more and more.
So is that like kind of what inspired the whole, like, I guess, screaming at the top of your face, like,
Yeah.
type of caricature, right?
It
Like,
was
Right.
like Happy Wheels, like 2 a week, and it was like you know what people want. They love the catchphrases.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of like ticking boxes, and then you kind of get tired of that and
Yeah.
go on to something else.
Well, I feel like that was like an entire generation of YouTube where like, especially like the first wave of Let's Players, it was very much about a gimmick and high energy. It needed to be like high energy, right? If you are speaking below the decibels of like a live concert, then you are just not making it on YouTube.
yeah,
That's what
if
it
your
felt
mic
like.
was not peaking, you weren't doing it right.
Yeah, so people still like purposefully peak their mic just to make it sound louder.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Wait, they do? Wait,
Yeah. I was like, have you ever watched like a
because it's like a deep fried meme where it
yeah,
sounds funny.
and it's like the louder you shout, like the cooler it sounds. Oh god, every time I tune into like Tommy and it's
Oh yeah.
Tommy, I love you. You're great. You're super funny, but fix your fucking microphone.
I think it's going for like the Tyler One kind of mic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Let's forgive him instead of him being a moron.
Well, we're not friends with him like you.
I can say this.
Yeah.
He just turned 18. He's not a child anymore.
So you can legally bully him.
Yeah, I can beat the shit out of you now.
There'll only be one film.
And you can go to jail now. So.
Oh my god.
So mentioning anime, are you a big anime guy?
I want to be. I want to have like that knowledge of like the obscure shit, but I'm such a normie when it comes to anime.
But most conversation you'll ever have about anime is a normie conversation.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah.
Jerry and Garnt know so many things, and you just seem pretentious. You're like, I know this show.
No.
Yeah, you do.
You guys do seem pretentious.
Okay. Like
absolutely.
we have all this knowledge, and then we have like the same like conversations 90% of the time anyway, because everyone's watching.
Yeah, that's what I've learned recently though, is that like it doesn't matter how much actual knowledge you have on the medium, because 90% of the questions are going to be, so what did you think about the latest Attack on Titan episode? It's going to get to like that level.
Yeah.
Look, that new season of Attack on Titan sucks. I hate it.
I think it was
Really?
I think it was building up for the last one.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm being a bit harsh, but I feel like, God, are we actually having?
It was like
Okay. We're getting into this now.
I loved all the first 3 seasons. I got into the manga. I read all of it. The ending was like whatever. It was.
I haven't read it yet.
I haven't read the manga yet.
So you're even like ahead of us in this game then.
And
Yeah.
the ending, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I was like waiting for it to happen. I was like, there's a couple of good scenes in there. And then it happened. I was like, Mappa are so much better than that. Like, I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen came out at like the same time, and I was like, that's what you can do, and this is what we're getting. And I'm
You
like,
actually sound like an anime fan.
yeah.
This is you're naming studios.
Yeah.
casually
I like-
popping
Just
them
the
up.
fact that you know what like the base level of Mappa is like more than most people. Like,
now I'm just pissing off your audience. So.
Most of them don't come here for anime. But
Yeah.
they're like, oh my god, they're going to speak about it?
Yeah, because like I didn't expect that you would just name drop an anime studio, because that's like, even you call yourself a casual anime fan, but that level of knowledge is even more than most people I talk to, you know.
So you like Jujutsu Kaisen as well?
Yeah.
I fucking love Jujutsu Kaisen.
Wow, not like him.
Well, okay, Jujutsu Kaisen's story is like whatever. It's so like by the book,
Right.
it's so
Yeah.
plain.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I feel like it leans into that, and it's like you're just here to watch cool animation. You're just here to watch cool fights.
Yes.
It's like
I
like
love this show so much.
it's like Naruto again, but it's like we cut out all
Right.
the annoying shit and just. It's like here's just fight scenes. Like go for it. No one
Yeah.
cares.
Also, Naruto doesn't have like Todo, so like
That's true.
He's like the best character
true.
in
That's
any
true.
show
Yeah.
ever.
But it does have Kakashi, which is just basically Gojo, just
Yeah.
like all over again,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Gojo's more marketable, right? Gojo's really
He's younger. He's sexier. He's new.
The younger,
But he's playful,
sexier
he's playful,
Kakashi.
you know what I mean?
But I
Yeah.
did watch Naruto for the first time like last year.
Yeah, I remember you telling
the-
me.
Wait, you
Yeah.
watched it?
Shippuden.
Oh, how did that happen? You watched Naruto for the first time in 2021.
Well,
I did too.
yeah, because
I remember you texting me about it actually.
Yeah.
You were like, do you think I should? And I was like, I mean, you go for it. Like, yeah.
Because my girlfriend had watched it growing up, and that's
Right.
what got her into stuff. And
Right.
She lived in Japan actually for a long time.
Oh, really?
Like,
Right.
masters in Japanese and everything.
Oh,
as well.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That was like that stuff was what got her into it.
Right.
And then since I don't have any nostalgia for it, I was like, let's watch it now and see if it holds up. And we kind of did
Get a
the-
non-biased view on it.
Yeah, we did like the non-filler sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
people had listed on like Reddit what like the key
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
to
There's
watch are.
websites dedicated
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the filler.
There's
You
like
basically cut out like a third of Naruto.
yeah.
So we did that, and I was like, it's still way too long.
Yeah.
I was like, we need a Naruto Kai to come out, like, or a Brotherhood or something.
Right.
Yeah, because like I'm curious, since you've watched Naruto last year, I've always thought that it's like if you read the manga, maybe it would be a much better experience. But I think with the way anime production was back then, with a lot of filler, not just in episodes, but within certain scenes, it would just have dragged so much.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good show?
I think it is. I think it has a lot of heart to it, and I think knowing the pedigree that it has and the fact that it started all of those trends that and Dragon Ball kind of like pioneered a lot of that like long drawn out battle kind of shit.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's why I was saying like Jujutsu Kaisen feels like that but modernized.
Yeah.
They cut out a lot of the nonsense, but at the same time they cut out most of
I
the
love how
parts.
Jack has more of an in-depth opinion on Jujutsu Kaisen compared to like most people.
I do agree though. Jujutsu Kaisen is just like we're getting on with it. Shit's happening always. Like the first episode, like they just get right into it. Whereas like you know, you can tell shows from like 2000s when they take their sweet fucking time to let anything happen.
Oh, like Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer's like Naruto, but the exact same. Where it's like all the annoying characters, all the filler shit, all of the like drawn out battles.
Right.
The animation's so good. Just do that over and over again.
Was there any animes you watched that you were like, I'll give it a shot, and you were like very surprised that you enjoyed it?
Full Metal Alchemist.
I love that show.
Yeah,
It's
same.
I love Full Metal Alchemist. It's amazing.
Who's your favorite character?
It's Ed. You know, everyone loves Ed.
Shit, he's right.
That's all the truth.
That was one I had heard a lot of.
Yeah.
Like Brotherhood.
Brotherhood
was
is
out.
really good.
And then I watched it and I was like, and then it became my favorite of all time.
Oh.
Because I was just like, it's just lean, it has a story to tell, it gets in, gets out, does it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, like, for the anime community, Fullmetal Alchemist is kind of like the godfather of, like, anime. You know what I mean? Where it's just, like, on the top of, like, every top anime list of all time.
It's like sacrilege if you don't watch
Yeah.
top,
It's just always on the top. And because everyone looks there and they're just like, yeah, you know, I get it's probably the top. You know, I'm not going to argue that Fullmetal Alchemist, you know, like, I haven't even seen it. And I'm just like, yeah, it's probably the top, you know?
That was why I watched it, because it was on the top of everyone's list. And I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It feels really unremarkable when you start watching it, but something about it just keeps you so engaged. And I don't know what quite it is.
Yeah,
I
actually.
think it's just like a really
Just put it on now.
show.
We can watch it together.
live reaction. Right?
My fans have been trying to get me to watch for like 5-6 years now. But like, yeah, as someone actually asking you guys an anime question, as someone who hasn't seen Fullmetal Alchemist, you know, you have shows like Attack on Titan, like Jujutsu Kaisen, like Demon Slayer, which, you know, is very much critically acclaimed, but there's always like there always seems to be like a group that like is like anti like tries to bring it down. Like the Attack on Titan is mid crew, or the Jujutsu Kaisen is mid crew, or whatever. But like it just doesn't seem like that exists for Fullmetal Alchemist. And I was just like, why?
Because, well, I mean, for one, it's like a genuinely good show for one, but I think it's also the fact that now it's just put on such a legendary status that it's like, I don't know, there isn't, I think it's just a losing battle.
Yeah.
If you go out there and try to be that guy to be like, oh, I think it's fucking overrated or whatever, then everyone I think collectively is like, okay, sit down. You know, kind of like, all right, baby boy. You know?
It's very lean. Like, it has like 65 episodes or something, which nowadays is like unheard of.
Yeah.
It's just, I think because Brotherhood came out, it did a lot of the heavy lifting, because the original one was kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Had filler stuff, and everyone's like, no one cares. So now we're just like, here's like a decent story start to finish, and it keeps like having twist and twist and twist in the pace.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think it was just like, just a well-oiled machine that just, you know, was good
What
enough.
an interesting way to describe
Yeah, it was. It was like a well-oiled machine that
up.
just like it was lubed the fuck up. It was really smooth. It worked perfectly. Like everything it tried to do, it did well.
Yeah.
Those are pretty mature for that era, I think.
Yeah, there's still a lot
Right.
of like fucked up scenes, like even in today's standards, I think.
I think even like in the mainstream, I think Attack on Titan is the only thing since that's like people are fucking dying left, right, and center.
Yeah. I mean, I think like Attack on Titan is, because most time when an anime gets super popular, it's basically just Shonen Jump. It's, you know, shows like Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, My Hero Academia. And then Attack on Titan has been like the adult show, I guess, the most adult show that's gotten as close to mainstream as I think anime has gotten.
Even though it's still technically a shonen manga.
Yeah,
it is technically.
you know, even though it technically is published in a shonen magazine, you know, it's seen as like more mature. Especially, you know, you watch Attack on Titan, you're like, this ain't no My Hero Academia,
No,
you know.
no, definitely not.
Do you have like a favorite anime or manga then?
Favorite anime is Full Metal. It used to be, well, it was like the first season of One Punch Man I really loved as well.
Oh,
Of course,
okay.
And then the second season
Classic.
was like a step down, and I was like, man, you could have just left it there. It would have been fine.
I think I know what your favorite manga is. It's Berserk, right?
Yeah.
You read Berserk?
I feel like anyone who's read Berserk,
Oh my God.
it's like top of their list.
I think it's my favorite too.
Because I started, and again, like Full Metal was like top of everyone's list, and I was like, Dark Souls, like FromSoft are huge into them. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and then I had the Dark Horse, like the black editions.
the thick ones,
I
right?
had like one of those for a long time, and I was like, pandemic's happening, I'll finally read it and then just blast through the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's same. I did it. Just pandemic as well. Fuck, man. I don't know.
It's
It's just
unreal. Anyone who's like hasn't read it and hears us talk like that, it's like it's worth it. There's a lot of it's really drawn out, but it's like the only thing that actually benefits from it, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I feel like the pacing is perfect for the story it wants to tell. It's not always like an action fest, but I feel like even like the quieter moments just draw you in and immerse you so much.
I think for me, the quieter moments of Berserk is what I enjoyed the most.
Oh, they hit really hard.
Yeah, because there are some panels that are just like so still, and yet it's like, I don't know, very intense at the same time.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to explain, but like,
I just like the scale of it because it sets up. It's like, okay, here's one bad guy, and then follows that the entire way through. They're not like, here's an arc with that bad guy, and then someone else, and then you're like reeling through it, being like, okay, when do we get back to good shit again? It's like one pillar the entire way through, and then the hero is like, it doesn't do that stuff where like his power level goes down and then it goes back up and down. It's like, it's just very consistent the whole way through, and it's more about the interpersonal drama of it than anything.
I knew it was special because you know when you get like 1/3 of the way through something and you're like, oh no, oh no, I'm getting through this. Yeah, it's gonna end. I'm gonna have to say
when
bye.
you go to the golden age and it's like, wait, this isn't a flashback. This is the whole thing.
it's the whole thing.
And you're like, that's the prologue? That's the prologue to this story? But yeah, shame that we're never gonna see the end of it. I've still not brought up the courage to read the final like few chapters yet.
I still haven't read the final volume. It's just been like sitting on my
I'm a bigger weeb than you guys are. What the
I've
fuck?
done it. I read it.
I bought it on release. I got like the special like soundtrack edition to it as well. And I don't want to read it because I know once I read that, that's it.
There's no more Berserk.
There's no more Berserk.
I totally agree.
Have they said like definitively if it's like done now or not?
So for a little while, there was this rumor that was going around where Hakusensha, the publishers, were thinking about continuing on the series, and then it got a ton of backlash online. Just being like, no, dude, just let it go to rest. So right now we don't know yet. There is a possibility that they might. I personally don't want that because because again, like I haven't read the last couple of chapters, but I heard that like the last couple of chapters actually kind of has like a somewhat round ending to it, right? Or I guess you know,
It feels like you're getting very close to the end.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
You can kind of predict what you think will happen.
Yeah, that's
And I don't feel like, you know, obviously Miura is like one of the arguably the greatest mangaka who's ever lived. You know, especially with his masterpiece Berserk, and just who would even want to try to even take up that mantle? You know, like I wouldn't want to be that person, you know. And like, you know, it kind of just feels, to me at least, it kind of feels disrespectful if, you know, someone passes away. And, you know, there are some instances that maybe, you know, some people can continue on their vision if they know what's going to happen. But in this case, it just feels like such a personal story that I don't really feel like anyone can tell it but Miura himself.
Maybe we'll get like a thing of like his notes or like artwork of what he was thinking would happen. I feel like that's the best way. Then people can just make their own ending.
Fill in the blanks, right?
I'll never be disappointed by an ending that doesn't happen.
Yeah, true. I saw something similar to that when I went to the Berserk exhibit though. There was like a
You're just trying to rub it in now.
He's like, let me flex on you right now.
Flex on you real quick. But like, there was like kind of a glass cabinet of like a bunch of like Miura's notes that were kind of written down, and there was like nothing really like concrete that went after the manga or after where the manga ended. But it was just really cool to see like I guess his like thought process and like sketches on like a bunch of shit, because like it's like really just super fine stuff, like very very basic shapes for characters who then ended up being, you know, characters like Zod or like, you know, these like insane pieces of art essentially in manga form. But yeah, what was I going on about? Yeah, I went to the Berserk exhibit. I wanted to rub it in.
That wasn't even like a question. That was
Just
just
get his phone and go through pictures. It's like you want to take it out? You'll never see it.
So did you have a point, Joey, or did you just want to rub it into us?
I just wanted to flex, that's all. Yeah, it was a great exhibit.
Drink my tears.
Have you ever been to Japan yourself?
Once, yeah. We, oh God, what year was it? It was like 2019, I think.
Right.
Right before the pandemic.
Yeah, we went because I got offered to go to a thing because Godzilla was coming out and Detective Pikachu was coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Second Godzilla movie. So we got to go with like Warner Brothers flew us out to do a thing.
Right.
And then because my girlfriend lived there and she's fluent and everything, I was like, can we like extend our trip? So we went for like 10 days.
Oh, nice,
And it was
nice,
like
nice.
4 on our own, and then the rest was like doing stuff with those.
Right.
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was enough days? Were you like, oh no, I need more?
I think for that trip it was, because we ended with all the like press junkety.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it felt like we like revisited the same place. We went to like Harajuku the first time when we were there, and then got to see like the temples and stuff. And then when we went back, it was like, here you go again, but it's like scheduled out, so it was a little different. But we got to go to the Toho place, and we got to see like all the original like props for all the earlier movies. And
Right.
like the original like costume and everything was there.
Yeah.
So that stuff was really cool. Got to see Ryan Reynolds again.
Oh yeah.
You were in,
He
Free
waved
Guy,
at
right?
me.
You're in Free Guy. Yeah.
You waved at you.
Well, that was the thing. I met him for the Deadpool thing, and then the Detective Pikachu thing. He was on a boat, and he was like, "Hey, that guy," and he like waved down at me. And I was like, "Holy fuck!"
He remembers.
He remembered me. And then we like took a picture all together, and I was like standing next to him, being like, "Cool, yeah, good to see you."
I will remember this smell.
So there was a lot of things in that trip that like made it a much bigger deal. Than
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
how did like the Free Guy and like the Deadpool collab come about? And what was it like, being in projects
Absolute
like that?
fluke.
Right.
When the Deadpool was coming out, the second one, and then I'd loved the first one already, and I was such a massive fan of Ryan anyway.
Yeah.
And then I was talking about him so much in my videos, and just kind of annoyingly, I would say. I feel like if someone did that to me, I'd be like, fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
But I'd been talking about him so much that he liked one of my tweets one day, because I
Right.
guess people were just badgering him about me.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then I was coming back from a trip one time, and then saw on my phone that he had followed me, and I was like, oh fuck. It was like Dad found my account. Oh no. Delete everything. But then I think that happened, and then I had played the Deadpool game just because for search engine when the movie was coming out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I was trying to
yeah.
play it. People were
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
it, and then I think Warner Brothers, whoever were over it at the time, got wind of that and then got in contact with me and were like, well, now we have to put you in a room together because you guys have interacted, you've played the game. And
Yeah.
then because of that, it like snowballed from there to like all the other celebrities.
Right.
Jeez.
Wow.
It was just random chance. It was a pure miracle.
That's so cool. Though.
Basically, just meme up your favorite celebrity, right? And just
Just be the biggest fanboy online.
It's like the worst story ever. Be like, just keep tweeting at them.
Just make as much noise as possible to your favorite celebrity, and then eventually they'll notice you.
Annoy the shit out of them. That was
That's
it.
so cool, though.
You were also in what was it, Poppy Playtime, the newest
Yeah.
one recently.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was I played the game and I was like, is that? Because it's on like the grainiest fucking. I'm like, is that?
Yeah,
Jack?
and you just see like my chin for like a second.
yeah.
And then once my full face comes in, everyone has the same reaction.
Yeah. What was that all about? I mean,
Again, in the first chapter,
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
I could do a voice in this game. Put me in the game. And then they messaged me afterwards being like, you want to be in the game? I was like,
It's that easy.
yeah, I just fucking annoyed people. But I'd been in a couple of things like Bendy and the Ink Machine and Puppet Combo did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think they were just like, yeah, be in it. But I didn't think I'd be a person in it. They were like, it was just tapes of voices the first time. And I was like, I can do that.
Oh,
I've
like
done.
you thought it was just gonna be a voice of you.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they sent me the thing, and it was like dress up in like a yellow shirt and like have a lanyard, which they didn't give me a template for, and I had to make.
Right.
And then I was just like, okay, I'll act. And I was like, fuck, now I have to like learn the lines, like be in a camera, and like
Right.
it took me like 7 takes just to get like a sentence out.
This feels like big brain. Man. Instead of
Yeah.
having to play the game yourself, just be in every other level.
Yeah.
Like just.
It works out great. Then I play it, and I'm like, I'm in Poppy Playtime. You just have a thumbnail of you.
Yeah. How is it like having to like memorize a script versus just, doing a let's play or just being a YouTuber, I guess? Because I feel like there must be so much more pressure because
Yeah, do you have like an acting background?
Yeah.
Well, you're just winging
Not
it?
at all.
yeah, just wing it.
I'm a huge fan of just watching movies, and I love acting in general, and I always thought I would do it eventually.
Yeah.
And I have like mini characters on my own channel where I like play them every now and then. And
Yeah.
want to do something with those in the future, and that was like a sandbox for me to just play around in it though, and be like, if I can do it, I'll figure it out. But these things was like, just here's a role if you want to do it.
Yeah.
And,
Right,
like,
right.
audition for them here and there, and I don't know, it's weird. It's a fun challenge though, I think.
Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah, because I guess I guess you just kind of like, in Free Guy at least, it was kind of like a cameo. So you kind of just got like to play yourself, I guess, right?
Yeah, it was really bizarre because when they sent me the thing being like, you want to be in Free Guy? And I was like, it's a movie with Ryan Reynolds. Why wouldn't I be? I was like, I'll do literally anything to be in
My boy Ryan Reynolds.
My boy.
Yeah.
We're friends, by the way.
He waved at me once. So
You open up.
We're basically friends.
You open up your Ryan Reynolds
like,
shrine, and you're just like.
You flex Berserk on me, I'll flex Ryan Reynolds on you.
That's definitely a bigger flex.
He texts me a video for my birthday this year.
Oh shit!
Oh no
Yeah,
way!
saying like happy birthday and like
Damn. That's like a $700 cameo right there.
yeah.
Just get your name wrong. Like,
Good to see you, John. But yeah, for Free Guy, I got like a script of like, there's like a bunny rabbit character in it when they go into the world.
Right.
And it was like those lines. And I was like, oh shit, that's like a character. And I thought it was like, oh, just walk in the background or something.
Yeah.
Sean Levy, the director, I had a call with, and I was like, here, learning these lines. And I was like, okay, treat this as an audition, okay? And I was like, shitting bricks. I'm even getting nervous now thinking about it.
Right.
And it was so scary. And then I got on the phone with him. He's the most infectiously happy guy of all time. He was like, yeah, we have this movie and we're going to do it. We'd love to have you in it. And it's so cool. Like, you'd play yourself. And I was like, oh, I don't have to do anything then. It's just me.
did I get the part from myself?
Yeah. Do you want me to like?
Do I read?
Should I do a British accent? Or?
So did I get the audition? How do I stack up against the other Jacksepticeye auditions?
Honestly, I would lose that audition. I have no idea how to be myself. But he'd text me the lines like a script or an SMS, and I was like, oh, we're just shooting from the hip.
Wow.
And then I got to sit in my room like with my camera and do it. Like they were like, have it to us by like Monday or whatever, but I was allowed to do it on my own with no direction. And they came back and they were like, that was incredible. We want you to in it more. Here's more lines. So
really?
If you watch the movie, it was like the very starting part was the only part I had initially.
Right.
I kept showing up again and again because they were like, you were so good. Let's put you in again. And I was like, great. And then they were like, yeah, Ninja was like in it, and he sent us like a C920 Logitech webcam.
Oh no!
And I was like, Ninja, come on. So then his part in the movie has like a motion rig and like a really big camera, and I was like, now mine looks like shit. But it was super fun. Really, really cool experience to be part of. I still get people like, as of like 2 days ago, my chiropractor messaged me being like, I saw Free Guy, it was incredible. I didn't know you were in it. I was like,
Yeah, that is an awesome flex.
This episode of Trash Taste is sponsored by PC Specialist.
PC Specialists are one of the leading custom PC manufacturers in Europe, specializing in gaming PCs, laptops, workstations, and
Ability and
Kind of like not get major. You know?
back to the episode.
I guess you talked about before how you felt like you played like a caricature. You know, at which point did you start to like, kind of like not get tired of it, but maybe think like you should just try to be yourself more? Was there like an exact moment or realization?
yeah, I think it was a couple of moments. I think at the end of 2017, I have like a video on my channel saying it was like the worst year of my life, and I was just miserable. I was in like a really crappy place mentally.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I ever got to like the end of the year, and I spent Christmas alone, and I was like, my mind went to some very dark places, which I won't get into detail of.
Right.
But I was like, that's not me. I don't normally think like this. Like clearly something's wrong, and I started like going to therapy, and I started trying to like figure myself out and my priorities, and then I think like the next 2 years after that, we're still trying to like figure shit out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what I want to do. Do I do daily uploads again? Do I work on bigger things? And then kind of getting sick of myself. And I kept taking breaks so periodically and going away for like a month or 2 months and trying to figure stuff out. And then I think last year after my dad had passed, I was like, okay, I'm quitting. I'm done. I'm fucking out. I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate where the culture of YouTube is going. I hate everything that's going on. I don't want to play into the games of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just took some time away, and I was like, well, I don't have to take it that seriously. I started off doing it like kind of in my bedroom, having fun, and just uploading daily games, and like subscribers don't really matter that much if you're having fun with it, and things are sustainable, and views don't matter that much as long as you're still making like your living out of it.
Yeah.
I've been so successful with it so far that I'll just have fun with it again, and I think
Yeah.
all of those pieces kind of culminated, and I was like, yeah, it's fun to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think since we've all done YouTube for like quite a long time, we forget sometimes that YouTube is a fun job, you know, because there's a lot of times when the grind can feel endless, and you can forget sometimes that you started it because it's fun, and it is a genuinely fun job. And I feel bad like saying this because I'm sure a lot of people would like obviously like kill to be in this position, but a lot of times when you hear YouTubers talk about their job, it's always in like a negative connotation.
Yeah, because it becomes a thing that when you do it to a certain level and you get sustainable and you start earning money off of it, and you get to a point where like your financial side of things are kind of in check, and you're fine, and you can afford rent and food, which is most people struggle in the friction in their life, and then we make our own hours, so all you're left with are like emotional problems that you kind of have to deal with, and you have to figure those out, and then you have to figure out your own brain, and then I think for a lot of people it's easy to blame YouTube for like things going wrong in your life if algorithms shift and things kind of like go wrong. Or if an upload does bad, it's like, fuck the system, and it's like, maybe the video wasn't that good.
But people are very quick to blame the algorithm.
Which there is a factor too, of course. It's not all perfect.
But I think, putting all your problems on the algorithm is something else entirely different, right?
It's like an easy out sometimes. I mean, I've done it too. I still kind of do.
I think we all have, though. I think that's like a path that every YouTuber does definitely go through at one point in their careers. It's just a matter of like whether you can realize that that is not the entire truth,
Yeah, because you put your entire self-worth into that, and when it's successful, it's like, I'm amazing, I'm doing great. But if that dips, then it's like, I'm a piece of shit. I don't know how this works anymore. That person uploaded and it's fine, and I do the same thing.
And then like someone new comes on and gets like fucking 50 million views doing like something that you just think is so simple or something. You're like, why is the algorithm favoring this video? And you just like feel like a lost soul sometimes.
I can't imagine that daily uploads make it easy to have time to think about yourself and where you are, right? I've never done daily uploads, but that sounds terrifing. I think
it sucks.
I barely already have enough time to consider my own mental health. I feel like adding in the daily uploads, like how was that? Like,
because how long did you do daily uploads for?
It's like 5.5 years.
Oh my.
It was double daily.
Did you just have like no social life during that point?
Nope.
Okay.
I was editing everything myself. I would wake up, get a video ready for that day, or the 2 videos ready for that day, then record 2 more, edit them that night, and then go to bed. And it was that for like 5 years. I don't do that. It's great when everything's like firing and like you're getting into it, and there is a passion there. Like, sure, work hard when it's there and everything's booming, but some time for yourself.
So did you take any breaks at all? Seriously?
I think it was like 7 years before I took my first proper like time off.
Oh my
and
god!
That was circumstantial for being on tour, because I was like, I can't upload. I can't.
Yeah.
I tried vlogging on tour, and then I wasn't doing my tour properly, and it was just too much. But that was like the first time I was like, oh, people will still be there if I come back.
Yeah. Because I feel like there is definitely, when you set yourself a schedule, and that's how you get like a lot of success and a lot of traffic initially. You think that you need to stick to this upload schedule or this like expectations that you've set for the viewership. And I think like one thing I will say is I think YouTube's become a lot more lenient, at least recently, with just like realizing that your audience is what really holds the power. And even if you go to like a second channel, they will like your audience will follow you. You know?
Yeah, I definitely think like nowadays, like when you were starting off, especially, I think the general consensus was like, if you're not uploading daily, then you're not even in the game. Whereas like now, I think the knowledge of that not necessarily being true, and that, as Gan was saying, like your audience will be there even if you change stuff around or you move stuff around. I think now it's just become more like commonplace, I think, where it's like, now you have channels that are starting off who aren't as pressured to do daily uploads if they don't want to, right? Like there are lots of successful channels now that probably upload like once a month. As long as the video's good.
I just think the general level expected of the videos has just gotten crazy.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing with daily as well. Is like the daily videos weren't good.
You can't.
It was just like chopping out bits and then that's it. There was no like heavy editing on them.
No, because you can't do it. Like it's physically impossible to find the time to do that, right? Unless you're planning, weeks ahead. But
and they were so much shorter as well. Like these days,
20 minutes, right?
Yeah, even it was like 10-15 minutes sometimes.
Right.
It's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, like 8 minutes was like the golden zone back in the day.
Right.
It's just so weird just playing a game for like 10 minutes, then you're like, all right, guys,
Yeah.
calling it a day here.
Yeah, I mean, that was like early Felix was like Amnesia was like 10-minute episodes.
Yeah,
It was like, tune in tomorrow for the next part.
Yeah.
It would take you like a whole month just to get through like a chunk of a game.
Yeah, because I remember early Game Grumps was like that as well. Where it was like 10 minutes an episode. And it's like, all right, see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
That was normal, but now it's like unthinkable.
Everyone wants like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's all like idea first.
Yeah.
And content after for most of like the most successful stuff.
Yeah. Like in that time, did you have like a basic work schedule? Were you just like, okay, I'm going to play this game for this long, block out this time to play game, and block out this amount of time to like edit this kind of segment, or was it just whatever?
I don't think I was conscious of it, but I think it just happened naturally within my day. I didn't even go to my own college graduation because I was like, I need to edit this video. So I just got my like degree mailed to me, and that was and everyone else went out for like a graduation party, and I was like, I guess I'll go out for a couple of drinks. I have to be home to work though. And like nobody else understood it at the time. Now it seems kind of silly to do that. It's like, enjoy yourself and have fun. But back then there was no like, you can't put your foot in the brake at all.
Yeah. There's no work-life ethos.
Yeah, you just get lost in the shuffle then.
Because I was doing my first 2.5 years of YouTube, I was doing daily uploads as well, while I was a full-time uni student. And the only reason why I stopped doing daily uploads is because my computer literally exploded on me. Like, if my computer had never exploded and like basically just completely stopped the ability to even like make videos, then I'd probably still be doing it for as long as maybe you did it.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like I can't imagine.
You never missed a day for 5 years. Or was there some days you missed?
I think so. I think there was one day I missed because a tree fell down from a storm and cut out our power.
It literally took like an act of God.
Yeah.
To stop you from
My internet was so shit at home as well that I would take them to college and upload them on the computer.
Oh my god.
I presume, during the whole 5 years, right, there was like, I don't know, 2-3 years in, you were doing pretty well for yourself. Like,
Yeah.
So what made you continue when you had already gotten to a point that was really successful, that you felt that I need to keep doing this?
Well, part of it was the emotional side of things, where you kind of don't want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
And all you know is your work. All you know is the noise, and if you're constantly busy, then nothing can creep up on you.
That's true.
And then, I don't know, I think the landscape had kind of like started to shift, and the demand for, I think it was like Life is Strange 1 came out, and Felix did like the whole chapter in one video.
Yeah.
That was unheard of at the time. I was like, you fucking idiot. You gave away all these views. That could have been like 4 episodes. And then it paid off so well for him. And then I was like, oh wait, watch time is such a big factor that everyone just started doing it.
Yeah.
And you just couldn't do daily really anymore if you were doing that.
Right. So you didn't did you miss Christmases, New Year's, everything?
Ever.
Oh my god.
Because I was always like, well, I didn't like work on Christmas.
Right. You'd work ahead.
For like 2 days, but it was like, some people are alone at Christmas. I want videos for them to go out.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't want to disappoint anybody.
Right. Yeah.
Like they come every day, like after school or after college or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess that pressure just kept going as the subscriber count got higher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then we went to like a YouTube summit in New York in like 2016, and like me, Mark, Felix, like a whole bunch of Casey Neistat, and a whole bunch of other people were there. And then my YouTube rep kept like showing me around, being like, "This is Sean. He is like one of the fastest growing channels on the whole platform this year." Right. And I was like, "What?" Like, you didn't fucking tell me that. And then I like went up, and like Susan Wojcicki was there, and like my contact was like, "This is Sean. He runs like Jacksepticeye," and she was like, and I was like, okay, so what you're saying doesn't mean shit. Right. I was like gassing me up to all these people, and then you talked to the CEO of YouTube and they had no idea who I was.
She did an interview with Ludwig. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
She seemed very chill about it. I don't know if that's because
I guess she wasn't in tune with the YouTube sphere back then as much
Yeah,
as she is now,
gaming
right?
had like just started to get big. Since then, she's been very, very nice to me, and she's had a lot of good things to say.
Yeah.
She's.
that one time. Never forget.
I want a second play button.
They say first impressions don't really matter. Obviously, Susan, you know it does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, she just got blindsided by me.
Yeah.
But she's lovely. Everyone likes to clown on Susan for like the CEO of YouTube. It's like, you think she knows what's going on? The ad department don't even talk to the marketing department at YouTube. Like, no one fucking knows what's going on at that platform.
To be fair, imagine it when you're at an event with like every other big YouTuber. It's unremarkable if another YouTuber comes.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
This is another one.
Yeah, it's like you're there at a summit with like some of the biggest creators.
Yeah.
It's another one to you.
One thing I've always wondered is, so we've talked quite a bit on the podcast about how, the reach we have has definitely like affected our lives, like off of YouTube, and especially at conventions and stuff like that. Like, us three put together is like a fraction of the reach that you have. Like, how has it affected your life? Like, I'm genuinely curious about what like your lifestyle is like and how you've had to adapt because of it.
It was a little weird in the beginning because like when you meet fans for the first time in real life, it's kind of scary and it's like, oh, and I lived in like a small town and I was like, oh, they're going to find out where I live. They eventually did.
Right.
People show up at my door like 3 times a week. Like
Seriously?
9 a.m. and like,
What would they ask for? Just like to come in for a
yeah,
cup of
there was one time that I always remember because I lived in like a gated apartment area.
Right.
And they got in at like 9 a.m. I was like, how the fuck did that happen? Turns out my neighbors let them in. Because they said who I was, and they were like, he loves meeting people. I was like, I don't know you. And it was like a Polish family, like a mother and her 2 kids, and they had this big wooden board with like YouTube written on it and my name. And they were
that's
like, we
not
wanted to
cool.
give this to you, and I was like standing there in like my underwear and a shirt, having just rolled out of bed. And I was like,
Should have done the American accent and just been like, no, this is
Yeah.
Markiplier.
I don't speak English.
You should have hit them with the Korean.
But it got really scary at that point, and then we moved to Brighton, and then I was like militant about not having my address anywhere and trying so hard to like keep things secret, and I think that kind of messed me up for a long time. Like even when I would stream, I was so paranoid that I would like show Amazon or something, and it would have like my postcode in it.
Yeah.
I'm very terrified of that too.
Yeah.
Or anything would just show up on my desktop that like gave a hint to where I am or what I'm
Right.
doing, like even like the time on my clock. So I got really paranoid.
Right.
But that was also like fan fervor, and they were all like really big into like shipping and really like fanatical about everything.
Yeah.
That era of YouTube.
Which is swinging back now with all the Minecrafters.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's coming back.
it is coming back,
It is definitely coming
But
back.
thankfully, my audience have just kind of like matured with me and kind of settled down. And
Yeah.
I think the main thing that I got out of it was that I didn't set boundaries early enough.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are scared of setting those boundaries because it's like it makes their they think their audience are going to hate them for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't want us as close. You keep saying you love us, and
Yeah.
you actually hate us. And you don't want us to come to your house.
Yeah.
Kind of. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I skipped about 7 steps there.
Yeah.
It was like try not to rock the boat at all.
Yeah.
Try not to piss people off.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I guess we, like, people like us have to be thankful to, like, the experiences that you went through, because back then it did very much feel like the boundary just didn't exist. And if YouTubers talked about it, then the consensus was, well, why are you complaining about this? This is
They made you.
They made you. Why aren't you grateful that fans love you so much, you know?
I remember that during the whole like Team 10 house. You remember that? Oh. There was like so many videos. It was like, put the address in public.
Yeah.
It was like a listed Google.
Yep.
And then people would turn up and they'd be like, no, fuck off. And then there's just so many videos of parents going, we made you. Do you know you wouldn't be this without us? And they're like,
They bought all your shirts.
God.
You literally wouldn't be in this location without me.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, thankfully, it does seem like the mentality, because of so many bad interactions and bad fan stories, that people are kind of getting the point now. So thankfully.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have to look into security or anything like that? Did it ever get to that point?
No, because everyone was just so nice about it. No one was like doing any nefarious shit.
Right.
It was like,
Like you didn't have the super videos coming up.
well,
Yeah.
I say that, but somebody did mail a tub of shit to like a company address that I was registered at. What? Like it was apparently there's a website that you can mail like different types of shit to people. So what had shown up
I
at
shouldn't laugh, but that's very funny.
what had shown up at my house was horse shit. But you could get pig shit, cow shit, dog shit. And that was like when I was like, oh, this is fucking weird.
Was it labeled as horse shit?
I think so, yeah. It was in like a Tupperware kind of thing. It was like,
Here is your tub of horseshit, sir.
yeah, but it didn't come directly to my house. I went to like a business address that I was registered at.
Right.
How long?
There, like, was like, should we throw this away? And I was like, yeah.
So how long did it take you guys to realize it was horse shit? Was it just sitting there and just like, something smells?
Time for the taste test. It was probably after my third spoonful that I was like, that's horseshit.
It was a rather bizarre phone call to receive. Like, Jack, we have a box of shit. Did you order this?
Because somebody sent a cake to me before.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm not eating that. Like,
Yeah,
cool.
obviously.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I did eat it. That was stupid of me. That was like
I've done that as well.
that was like
Yeah.
2015. We didn't know.
That's how we learned the taste of horseshit, right? It was mixed into the cake.
Yeah.
Wasn't a chocolate cake.
That was the same story, just
Yeah. That was at the point, like those were almost like back to back where I was like, yeah.
Right.
Now it's
Yeah.
getting weird that you're sending stuff to me instead of like showing up at the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen enough of like those kinds of videos and like heard enough of those kinds of stories to know like, because you know during that time when you're starting off, right? Like people are like, oh, so like when are you gonna get a PO box?
Yeah.
To like send stuff, and hearing stories like that from early on, I was like, never,
Did you
never.
ever have one?
No.
No, I had one that it got really crazy.
I just imagine it got overrun so fast.
Yeah, you kind of just think like, where am I going to put all this?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, that happened at conventions. I would go to conventions and people would just send us like boxes of stuff or bring them up to the meet and greets. And then
Right.
it's like I like paid like hundreds of dollars to ship it back to my house.
Yeah.
So it was like these are so many items. It was like three or four boxes worth of stuff. Like, what am I gonna do with all of this? And then you run out of space. Then you have to move, and it's like I feel awful having to like do stuff with this. And it's like you don't want to like tell people that you had to like throw some stuff away, which is like awful to think about. And I like literally cried one time. I was like having to like put stuff in a bin. I was like, I let everyone down. I was like, so sorry.
Oh man.
And then now I'm like, no. But that was the thing, like no boundary. And now it's like, okay, no gifts at these things anymore because I can't do anything with it.
Yeah, because it's like it's more of a logistical thing now where you literally can't take everything home. And a lot of it, especially like food stuff, it's now like a health and safety concern. Maybe it's got horse shit in it. Like who fucking knows anymore, you know?
Never know.
Yeah, someone gives you a COVID cake.
Oh no. That's something I didn't think we needed to worry about until now like post-COVID.
Someone out this point, that's a fantastic idea.
People who just met you guys at the Comic-Con were like, fucking missed out, guys. That necklace I gave him would have been a COVID cake.
Yeah, exactly.
Just gotta check if anyone's coughing on their gift before they give it to you. Oh no.
Just like detox and fucking spray your cake.
Yeah. Or you just lather your cake in hand sanitizer.
Like early pandemic when you saw those videos, people like putting the hand sanitizer on the apples and stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Fighting COVID, that's what they're doing.
Just a bizarre way.
Yeah.
Not getting COVID, but eating hand sanitizer at the same time,
Have you had, like, aside from getting horseshit sent to you, have you had any weird fan interactions just like at conventions or at events or anything like that?
Oh, yeah.
Because you used to go to quite a few conventions.
Yeah,
right?
I think I'm done with them now. I think VidCon in 2020 was like right at the start of the pandemic, like a week after that was when lockdown happened.
Right.
And I got violently ill, so I think I got COVID like right at the beginning.
At the time, no one was testing that.
Yeah. And some people had like pulled out of VidCon for that. And after that, I was like, I risked dying for a convention, and I was like, maybe it's not worth it.
Right.
And then I'm like, when people go there, they don't really get an interaction with you anymore because it's like someone's there with a timer for like 30 seconds and it's like a picture shake. Thank you, bye. It's like, I don't want to meet people that way.
Yeah, exactly. What's the VidCon experience like? Because
I was about to say, like, I've only heard the most like fucking wild things from people. From people. Like whether it be positive or negative.
Here wasn't so bad because I think people here have a different culture and a different sort of mindset. Like Europeans are a bit calmer than Americans would be. That I'm not stereotyping. You fucking are. I've done a tour in the whole world. I know what you people act like. But in VidCon in LA was fucking batshit crazy. It was like the Walking Dead. And
is it just scary?
Yeah, it was terrifying. We weren't allowed out onto the main hall because you just weren't. They have like a couple of hours scheduled after one of the days where creators can go out and experience it, which there's nothing to do there. Yeah, it's like there's like a Snapchat booth and like
I did see it. It looked very anemic.
Yeah,
for a convention.
It's very corporate and it's very like branded and it's very kind of boring for anyone who's there. So people are just there to see
creators.
People. Yeah. And then like as that was happening, we got to walk down the main hall and all these fans, like hundreds of them at the window, like faces pressed to it.
Oh my god.
And
that's like some dead right.
Yeah.
It just sounds like
we went to like the Gregory Brothers concert and I went the wrong way because no one was like ushering us a different way.
Right.
People like literally like grabbed us and pulled us back out of the group. And then we like I went with like Matt and Ryan from Super Mega one year.
Right.
And we walked around the back and we were out like in the apartment area of it and walking around and some fan was like, I had like a hat, I had a mask, I had my hood up, and somebody was like, oh, I knew it was you from your walk. I was like, I've never walked in a video. So I'm like, how did you recognize me? So after that, I was like, maybe don't do VidCon again.
Right. Yeah, because that's pretty much the experience we've heard. And that's like, it's a convention where you know, as a YouTuber, you think you need to go to at least once, but every YouTuber I've talked to has been like, you don't need to go to VidCon.
Yeah.
PAX was great though. I have so many fond memories of PAX, and like, I
Right.
don't want it to seem all negative, like all my interactions were bad, but people, people at PAX were absolutely
I've heard
lovely.
good things about PAX. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd wait in line for like 7 hours and be starving, and just for a chance to like talk to you. And then everyone was so sweet and talk about how much you changed their life and everything.
Oh.
And we were like, those would always go on. It was like scheduled for 2 hours, and they'd go on for like 5 because it's like you just want to actually meet these people and interact with them. They're all lovely.
Yeah, I mean, like hearing you say that people in Europe and people in the UK are a lot chiller compared to people in America, like terrifies the shit out of me, because we just went to a convention last weekend, and literally in that one convention, like a random guy just went up on stage on our panel and sat next to Joey, and that was like, to me, like I'd never dealt with anything like that in my life.
Extremely traumatizing. That's for sure.
So I'm just like, if it's like that in the UK, how is it going to be like in America?
Do too many of them here.
Yeah.
So maybe it might be that, like the one
first
time
one
you're
we've
here.
done.
Literally the first one we've done. So
People
we've
are like, it's now or never.
Yeah. So it's basically like a learning. It's been like a learning experience for us as well.
Did you go to Indie PopCon? Is that one that you went
yeah.
to? See, okay, I think I went the year after you, and it was like this really weird thing where it was like, we do not talk about what happened last year. Genuinely, it'd be like, yeah, Indie PopCon, all the staff were like, yeah, it's been really good working here except for last year.
Yeah.
We had Markiplier and Jack in the same building, and it was
Holy
like,
shit.
they said that they were, basically, the message that I heard, maybe you can confirm, I just want to know this personally, I don't give a shit. They basically said that like, they were extremely woefully unprepared, is the message that I heard. And
we went, it was like 2015 or 2016, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And it was the second convention I ever went to, and it was me, Mark, Bob, and Wade all like in a line, and people all day just lined up to meet us. Some people would come back multiple times. We didn't have like a
way of
scenario to figure it out.
Right.
And people were just coming endlessly. Like the first day we signed for 9 hours. We had no food, no breaks, no anything. Then the next day we went again. And over like the 3-day weekend, we did 21 hours of signing.
Did they never cap the line or anything like that?
There was no capping. There was no like lottery system to let people in. Like everyone was lovely, but it was like we just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah. 9 hours. Oh my god. Yeah. I can't even like fathom that. Like,
you just get to the convention, sign all day, go to dinner, and then do it again for 2 more days. It was brutal.
Yeah, because like I guess is that like a common experience with conventions with you, especially in the early days? Because I feel like with you being part of like the early generation of YouTubers, where you started seeing the massive reach that you did, a lot of people were just like, from what I've heard, just didn't expect you guys to like have the reach or just have the fan engagement that you did.
Yeah. Because it was at Indie PopCon, they have a lot of like movie stars and like stars, and they do signings where it's paid for.
Right.
So we were like, I don't want to charge fans to like meet us. It's like I wouldn't pay to meet me.
Yeah.
So we were like, we'll just do it for free and like let people come. So it was like anybody who was anybody was like there if they wanted to meet someone but didn't want to pay.
Right.
Some of those people didn't even know who we were. They were like, someone will know.
Right.
They just came up to like take pictures and stuff.
Yeah, because I guess like even back then, especially back then as well, like I think just the general consensus of like famous YouTubers being at a con was just like, oh yeah, they just like make videos online. How famous could they possibly be? Compared to like these like people who've been in Hollywood and TV and stuff like that. And little did I guess Indie PopCon know.
Well, we kept like sniping people from those lines, and then all the people who were like had paid signings got mad at us and were like,
that's happening as well.
Yeah, they were like giving it away for free. Like, of course, no one's going to come to my booth now. I'm like, I just want to have fun, man.
Some of them do charge like outrageous prices.
Yeah, it was
for,
ridiculous.
Like £80 for an autograph, and it's like, what? And
you didn't even like really get to meet them for very long. It was like an autograph and a picture and then bye.
Yeah.
Don't pay for that. I don't think anyone's worth that.
You're better than that. Yeah. Because I feel like I don't know how it would be in Japan, but I feel like there's very much like a culture in Japan where you might very much like pay for something to get to see this celebrity or this idol. Definitely like idol culture, right?
The illustrious handshake events, right? And idols,
I saw the weirdest thing actually. Now that you say that, in Japan, where we were like next to a theater. It wasn't like I don't think it was like a kabuki theater or whatever. It was. There's like a term for it, and I can't remember what it is.
Like a traditional theater type of thing.
It was like, gosh, I'm trying to like find the words without seeming offensive. It was like
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think it was like a thing where like ladies would dress up as like guys and like have like really impressive makeup and everything.
No. It's Takarazuka.
Yeah.
Yeah, Takarazuka theaters. Yeah.
And we were, our hotel was like right next to a Takarazuka theater, and there was like dozens of people lined up outside every evening.
Yeah.
And people would come out and just like say hi. And they were all in line. They all like stood up one by one, all perfectly in unison. It was like a swim team, like perfectly choreographed.
Like synchronized swimming.
They were so respectful, and they were like, let's not do anything on our end to like piss them off, or they'll never do this again. And they would come out and they would like wave to everybody down the line all the way, and that would happen for like a couple of hours, and then everyone would leave, and then they were like, okay, we're done. Like fan club, go home.
I mean,
Right.
Fan culture in Japan is like next level.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they take it to like the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is a Takarazuka theater?
So Takarazuka is like, it's this basically this like very I don't know a whole lot about it myself, but basically it's been around for I think close to like a century, and it's this like specific type of as you said, is a specific type of like stage performance thing that has like very high regard and high like royalty status basically.
Right.
Of like basically like really acclaimed female stage actresses dress up basically, they kind of crossplay as like males, and you know it's kind of like, think of like if I don't know a traditional Shakespearean play was happening, but all of the stage performers are female.
yeah.
So
Okay.
like, all the guy characters are female, all the female characters are female.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of a musical / stage play kind of thing. It's very, very popular in Japan for a very specific demographic, I feel.
Yeah.
Mostly like, you know, kind of like women between ages like 20 to 50 are like really heavily into it. But
it was cool though. Like
it's really cool. Yeah.
some of them would still come out with like some of the makeup still on. It was really impressive. And then we like looked it up like when we were back to the hotel to figure out what was going on. And like the outfits are insane. The choreography is insane.
Yeah.
A lot of money goes into it. It's like some of the highest paid like stage performers I think in the world are Takarazuka.
Yeah.
Like,
But I just couldn't get my head around it. I was like trying to figure out what it was.
just like a bunch of women coming out and like dressed as guys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what the
And I
fuck.
was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to just say it's women dressing up as guys. Like obviously there's more to it.
I don't want to offend anyone. But from a surface, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah.
I'm not a horrible piece of shit, I swear. Please don't cancel me.
I don't know how many Takarazuka fans we have watching this show. You know, I feel the demographic is very different.
The one person who knows what you're talking about just raises their hand.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
like actually, I work in Takarazuka. Very offensive.
I've tapped into that niche for you. You're gonna subscribers are just gonna go up.
Would you ever want to go back to Japan?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we want to go like we were gonna say as soon as the borders open for like casual visitors, which apparently,
whenever the fuck that's
well, apparently it happened like very recently.
Yeah,
And then it's already shut down. Yeah.
But then I was like, it's coming up to summer. I don't really want to be there.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there.
You don't want to
No.
be there.
I mean, again,
That's why we're here right now, so that we're not there. Yeah.
like because my girlfriend lived there for like 7 years, so she was like, oh, she kept trying to like warn Felix.
Yeah.
I've been trying to warn Felix the entire time,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
Felix is like, oh no, I love summer. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
it's
you're not
brutal.
going to after this.
Yeah, I like even for me, because I'm Thai, so I've spent a lot of my life in Thailand. I thought I'm prepared for Japanese summer. I know what a hot, humid Southeast Asian country is like. It's going to be fine. And I remember spending my first summer in Japan, and I wanted to die. Nothing even from like Thailand had prepared me for Japanese summer, which is like, it blows my mind because, you know, in winter it's so cold there. It's so like, at least in Southeast Asia, you have like one climate. You know, you have two climates. It's like hot and humid or wet and humid. You know,
Right.
but in Japan, you have like every single climate on every single extreme of like the weather as well. So it's just, Japanese summers are no joke. I
'cause
swear to God.
I went to Korea for a summer and a winter, and it's the same thing where it
Yeah.
was just ball sweatingly just awful.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And then ball freezingly cold.
I
Yeah.
couldn't eat. My appetite was gone, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "What's wrong? Like, are you sick?" And I was like, "I think so. Like, what is happening?" It's like walking through wet air.
Yeah.
Sauna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just in a sauna just constantly.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's like you breathe the air, and it's why is the air heavy? You know, it's heavy air.
Why is there thick air out here?
And then you go into any building and they just blast the shit out of
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cold air, and then you're cold.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, I have to go outside to you know, get rid of it.
And like sorry, go for
Winter
it.
then is just the complete flip of that. Where
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
just snow everywhere. Everything's hard and icy, and the wind just stabs you in the chest.
and then you go inside and you're sweating your
struggles.
asshole.
Yeah.
The struggles of being from like this part of the world.
Yeah.
Like, any weather is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not mild.
It was 22 degrees today. What is happening?
That's why this weekend was such a shock to me because you know this was only my second time in the UK.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, when I tweeted out saying I'm going to the UK this weekend, everyone was like, enjoying the weather because it's gonna be shit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it was like amazing fucking weather, and I'm like, this is shit to you guys,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, it was great.
been really good.
But also, like, UK is the type of place where you can have, like, you know, in Japan, you really have to, like, choose your fashion about what you wear depending on the weather or something.
Yeah.
In the UK, you're like 90% of the time of the year, like, is it coat weather or is it jacket weather? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
You're like, you can get away with much less choice in the UK compared to what you do in Japan, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I've seen a bunch of clips of you speaking Korean, and I think it just kind of surprises people. It surprised me. Because you just don't expect people to just, hey, I speak some Korean.
한국말 잘 알아요.
None of us are Korean.
I know enough to like trick people into thinking that I know way more.
That's how it is with every foreign language. Though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we had some friends move over to Japan recently, and they don't know any Japanese, and they think I know a lot more than I do, just because you can get through the kind of standard flow of conversation.
Right.
Where it's like, you know what they're going to ask and what they're going to say.
Right.
For
And then
all I know,
yeah.
you could have just said, I want to fart on your
Yeah.
face.
Yeah,
I don't know that. Like,
Leave it in the leave a comment. For Christ's sake.
Sometimes, you know, people are like, what did they just say? I'm like, I don't have a fucking clue. But I have a rough idea.
Right. I mean, a lot of it is like body language as well.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Like when I went to Korea, I went to Korea because I met a girl online from
Right.
Korea. Like it was like a pen pal. It's called Interpals.
Right.
And it was like international pen pals. And I
Right.
had just dropped out of college for like sound engineering, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my life. I hate it. Maybe I'll take a gap year. What am I going to do? Travel? I don't want to go anywhere. And then doing that was like, oh, here's a part of the world. Like Asia had always kind of like fascinated me for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I like Lost was out, and they had like Korean actors in it, and I was like, God, the language is so cool. And I was like, I want to meet people from Korea and talk to them. And then one thing led to another, and we started like dating.
Right.
And then I went to visit her a few times, and right now I was like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what I expected
So
out
you
of that
watched
relationship.
Lost and you thought, that sounds cool. And that's
Yeah.
how you started learning Korean?
Yeah.
Wow. How many years have you been studying it for? Like, kind of roughly talking it?
It was like 4 years back then.
Oh,
It was from like 20 to like 20. It was like around like 19 to 23-ish.
Right.
Doing like lessons or just literally just
Just
talking?
all on my own.
Wow.
Right.
We would like talk to each other on like instant messenger and stuff, and it was like Romanized like Korean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Never
yeah.
like the actual alphabet. It was just her writing stuff in English,
Right.
and I would learn it so much faster that way. And I think I just picked up on things quickly anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then when I went there, it was like, oh shit, now I get everything. Because fucking textbooks are always like, can you point me to the nearest embassy? And it's like,
hello, this is a pen.
yeah. So being there, it was all like body language and like seeing how they emoted and
Yeah.
and like just being surrounded by the alphabet and like seeing it on stores and like trying to read it all the time. It accelerates things so much faster.
Yeah, when we had Kevin on, Kevin speaks some pretty good Japanese, and he said the best way that he learned was just getting drunk and trying to speak it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that helped me a lot with Japanese as well.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
getting drunk, because
Yeah.
you don't care that you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just kind of like be in her house with her family, and they would have like Wuhan Dojun on like in like Running Man and stuff, and I was like, I have no idea what's going on, but you can tell what's happening just through body language.
Right,
I would, like
right.
pick up words here and there from what I knew, and
And you got shot from the deep end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, these are my parents.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Oh God. Oh God.
And I made like the worst mistake, which was like not putting yo at the end of words because I got so casual with her.
Right.
And then I was like, Kumao, and then she was like, Kumao yo. And I was like, I'm never speaking this to you. Like, I fucked up the most basic thing ever. My manners were out the window. But it was a cool learning experience. I think it matured me very quickly.
Right.
Seeing like another part of the world, I was like, I think that's what I've learned over YouTube. Is like seeing so many like races, ethnicities, genders, like skin colors, like religious beliefs. I was like, it like broadens your world so far. That you can't like internalize your problems to just yourself anymore.
Yeah. Do you think learning Korean has helped you like say understand their culture more when you were over there? Because I feel like we've had this discussion before, but I feel like part of a culture is ingrained in their language, and you might be able to like sympathize with some culture, but like empathizing with them through like language is just like a different level, I think.
Yeah, because they have like honorific systems and everything, and like treating older people a certain way, and that obviously isn't ingrained in our culture here at all.
No, not at all.
Fucking jog on, man. Oi, geezer.
I guess we can't. Yeah, we don't, do we really? No. We don't.
No.
It's completely different,
I was trying to think like, so?
I mean, kind of, but not to that level.
Do you speak any Gaelic at all?
Not really, no.
I speak Welsh, and there's a kind of honorific system.
You're fluent in Welsh?
Yeah, I'm native. Yeah, I went to Welsh schools and did all my exams in Welsh.
What is like? How are you in Welsh?
Syzyty.
It's Totino in Irish.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to see like where the connection is.
But we have so many L's and stuff, right? We have the long town name, the Llanfair. That one.
Okay.
He was just getting prepared.
Yeah.
Like clearing his throat.
Yeah, so you have Berserk, I have Ryan Reynolds, you have Welsh.
Yeah.
Before the end of this podcast, you'll be able to bust your flex out.
I mean, in Welsh, there's the honorifics of kind of like how casual do you speak to them, whereas you say ti, chi, or di.
I'm so bad at Irish that I wouldn't even be able to tell.
Yeah.
No,
We learned it in school, but like no one really speaks it enough in the part of Ireland that I was in.
Unless you're studying it, right?
I think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Welsh language, the government tries their goddamn hardest to get more fluency.
Right.
It's taken like really seriously in Wales, and they're really like passionate about it. Seems that Ireland, they still are, but not to the same extent.
The west of Ireland is pretty... Is Wales is west in that region of the country as well.
Yeah.
I think... I don't know. I think just because not enough people speak it, and we've integrated into the world better, like with English, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't speak about my own culture because I'm so unknowledgeable about it.
I can't remember. In Ireland, all the road signs in Gaelic and English. Yeah, it's Welsh. It's the same.
Yeah.
All in Welsh and English.
And like on the coins, there's like Irish on them and
right.
like notes and stuff. So we have some of it there, but we're not like reinforcing it very well.
Okay.
I found out the mint for all the English money is in Wales, and I thought, how did they let that happen? Why haven't we taken it all?
Yeah.
Like, we need some of it. There's none of it in Wales.
Yeah. If Ireland had that, we would have got the Republic back so much.
Are we not using this as negotiating power? Why are we not
when
using this?
Brexit happened, you guys didn't lord that over their head to be like, say it again.
I did.
Yeah, I'm surprised you in Scotland didn't like rise up.
Actually, the worst part is that Wales was like very much for it, even though Wales benefited so much from getting help from the EU. But
it was a mess.
It's a sad time.
I don't think many people knew what was going on.
No.
I was actually at that VidCon that I was talking about in LA when it happened.
That must have been.
Oh, really?
We were going to a party and the news broke, and we were like, "Oh, time to drink."
Let's begin about that.
I feel like it was about Brexit, but it was about so much more different things for the voters than what it actually was about, as it has become. And it's not that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I was in America at the time as well. I was staying at my now fiance's place, and
there's your flex.
Yeah,
He's getting married. That's his
And it's your birthday.
Hey, it's my birthday today.
All right, that's all you get though.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, I remember like seeing it on the news, and I'm just like, it was like 50-50, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed, and like when I wake up, I'll wake up to like the good news.
all bad drink.
And I remember still like waking up, seeing on my phone, and I'm just like, I must have like been dreaming of like obviously seeing this wrong, and I'm like refresh my brain, and I just stared at it for like a good like 2 minutes, and I just couldn't fucking believe it.
Expand the top like Inception.
Expand the top in Inception.
At least you get the Irish passport though, so you don't have to,
that's true.
Your passport doesn't just become shit.
Yeah, and in the YouTube space, it doesn't really affect us. Unless I'm importing vegetables.
Bullshit. Pay VAT on it.
Yeah, but my coffee doesn't ship to England as easily now.
Oh, okay.
I actually wanted to ask about that. Why coffee? Why is that is it to kind of stand out? You were like, fuck it, nothing much.
Yeah, because like cloak makes sense, right? Because you know that's a thing that's a move I think that YouTubers have been trying to make for a very. I mean, I also made that move as well.
Yeah.
But like the coffee thing, I think no one was expecting.
Yeah, I just really liked coffee for a really long time, and I initially was like thinking of whiskey, and I was like,
that would have made
It sounds funky though, YouTuber whiskey.
And it's just so much harder. Like there's actual like laws around it. And I was like, my audience probably wouldn't even. Like 40% of them probably wouldn't even be able to drink it.
Right.
Getting it to different places would be impossible. And then I was like, I kept thinking about coffee, and I was like, what if we made like top of the morning coffee? I was like, oh, okay, that fucking name is too good. I have to do it.
Okay, yeah.
And then it was a part of that, like, nobody else was doing it. I was like, it sets me apart from other people, and it's different than just doing merch and clothes. And I was like,
Right.
It's just a fun thing that I had no idea about, and like learning how it was made, and that I just have my own coffee. That I could, if it sustains itself, I get free coffee all the time now.
Yeah.
extremely successful, I assume.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I get free coffee every day.
Was there any like challenges that you didn't anticipate starting a company like this that has like nothing to do with YouTube?
Yeah, initially it was like coffee's like a food item. So it has to be shipped as fresh and quick as possible.
Right.
So when we started, the shipping to England was a nightmare because we had to pay import charges and everything.
Right.
And it would take like a month to get it to people.
Right.
And then it would cost extra. So shipping here costs like twice as much as the coffee itself.
Right.
And it was like starting a company, you have to start really small, especially when it's something that you haven't done before. And we had no like infrastructure really for it initially. So it's made in like in America, and it's made in like Nebraska and stuff. And it was shipping from there, and that was the only place it was shipping from. So we had to figure out a new method to get it to people cheaper, which we thankfully did, and all that feedback initially was like really, really helpful.
Yeah.
But as soon as it went up, everyone was super pumped about it, and then all that day I was miserable because everyone was like, "This fucking sucks. It's so expensive. It doesn't ship here. You don't have this."
Yeah.
Like the site went down, and I spent the whole day being like, "Man, I spent so long like prepping this, and I got so like emotionally attached to it that I was like trying to like put out fires all day."
I feel like no matter how much you make your merch, though, there's always that. Oh, it's too expensive.
Of course.
Well, I mean, we don't have this like gigantic warehouse system in every single town. We're not Walmart. We can't just get shit to you extremely cheap.
Well, that was the thing, is like trying to educate people while also like sympathizing with them, and like, trying to meet them halfway with everything, and like trying not to get too businessy with them either.
Right.
Listen, the breakdown costs, right? You understand?
I can show you our profit and loss account. We're in debt.
Well, like I guess I want to like as a YouTuber, how do you even like start to like how, like okay
I'm a coffee guy.
Okay, because like I think maybe like one day maybe we'll start like the Trash Taste Coffee Company. I don't know what it's gonna be called, but like so like, I'll just phone my coffee guy. Who's the coffee guy? Who do I talk to? Where? Yeah. Like where do you even like start with that? Yeah.
Did you just like meet a dude who was like, oh, by the way, I'm very interested in starting a coffee company?
Well, there was a company that was doing it with Brooke Dodger.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then they were doing it with Smosh as well. And that was another thing, like a review for the coffee came out, and somebody was like, it was like a big coffee guy on YouTube, and I have his book. He taught me so much about coffee, and I thought he was great. And then he was like, YouTubers getting into coffee, what does the business look like? And it was all like, he didn't actually start his own coffee company. Like he used this other company to like source the beans and everything. And I was like, yeah, I said that. Like, I don't think I was dishonest. Like, did people think I was gonna like go to the farm myself and like pay for
generic business videos of you just like touching the beans and just like
handpicked by Jacksepticeye.
Like, I did start a company that has like its own official documents, and I didn't like buy a roastery and my own roasters. And, it's like I think they expected a bit more out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were like handling coffee for people already, and we were my agents at the time were like they just do everything for everybody.
Right.
And they kind of knew a couple of people who were starting coffee companies already, and they were like, we can put you in touch with all these people. And then Akira Coffee, who are doing the one that we're working with now, they had done Dodgers, and when I talked to them, they just seemed so genuine and nice and open about it, and they got it, and it wasn't all about like cranking money out of people. And
Right.
it was just really honest, like genuine fun to do.
So now the question is, how did Dodger get in touch with that?
Yeah, we'll go back the line.
We'll work our way up.
Yeah, exactly.
But technically, I had a coffee guy that I.
Okay.
Definitely makes things a lot easier.
There's always somebody you know who knows somebody you know who
Right.
can put you in touch with the right people.
Yeah.
And if not, you can always just tweet it out.
Hey, I want to find someone on the who can
Yeah.
source me some coffee.
See, like I've tried that a few times where you just like you need a guy and like you tweet it out. You know, is there any and like you get everything but that guy. You most of the tweets are just like I'm not the guy. But good luck. And I'm just like, why are you replying to this Twitter thread?
Or it's always like, I'm not that guy, but I do have a Fiverr account. I can make you some artwork for it if that's okay with you. And I'm like, thanks, but no thanks.
Here's my fan cam that I did.
Yeah. That's cool though.
One thing I want to know, right, is why did you decide to move to Brighton? Because I want to know this.
As a Brighton resident.
Well, I want to know this as someone who was born and raised in Brighton, and like I
didn't
grew
know
up.
that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I still technically live in Brighton when I'm
He said it's third
We
or
need to
fourth.
get more in.
But yeah, I remember when Brighton was a town. It wasn't even a city. It was a town. And now seeing, like growing up and now seeing, big YouTubers coming there and like it's the cool city, it's the cool hip city. Like I want to know, like you personally, since you being such a big presence there in terms of like content creators who have moved to Brighton, what made you decide to do so?
I think because Felix lived there for a long time, and I had heard really nice things from him. And then like Alfie and those guys were there, and there was a couple of other like big
A lot of them were there.
Right,
YouTubers were there, and I didn't really get it. When I went there, I realized, it's like a mini LA. Now I kind of get it.
Right.
Same sort of like structure, but smaller. And I went there to visit him for the first time over like a weekend in October, like years and years ago. And then I just fell in love with it immediately. Because I'd been thinking about moving already, and I was like, LA's a bit too far. It's a bit too crazy. You have to get visas and everything. And I was like, kind of maybe London. And then London was just a fucking nightmare. The traffic's awful. There's too many people here. It's just, it was a bit too busy for someone who grew up in a tiny town. And then when I went to Brighton, I was like, this is lovely. This is like small. The beach is there if we want it. Friends are there.
Feeling so prideful right now, man. I'm feeling so prideful. I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
And the people were just so nice, and like there was like a really strong like LGBTQ community there, and everybody was just so like progressive and nice. The vegan community was huge there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is perfect. Why would I live anywhere else? And
yeah.
Just walking around town was a very walkable city, and it was just really fun to do.
But you don't get like bombarded if you're like walking around town?
No.
Really?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everyone's pretty chill in Brighton.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, people come up and ask for pictures and stuff, but if you say no, they're like, yeah, okay. Have a nice day.
Yeah, because it was really weird for me because obviously now that I came back from living in Japan for 2 years, and we started this podcast, and before that I like didn't show my face on camera, and like for the first time I started to get recognized in this home city that I like grew up in.
Yeah.
So like I would have thought that you would have gotten recognized a lot, or it would have been like a daily occurrence. So
yeah, I think initially when I moved it probably was, but then now people know you're there. They kind of
right.
Like there's no sense of urgency, right?
Right.
Some people still have to like look familiar, but then they don't really go any further than that. Yeah, I guess like different sensibility as well.
Yeah.
Like, you were saying Europe versus America.
Yeah.
People here aren't as starstruck.
Yeah. See, guys, Brighton's a cool city. Come visit Brighton. It's an amazing city.
No, don't. You'll ruin it. It's nice. I like it.
Don't make it to VidCon.
Yeah. We thought about that for a while as well. Like maybe we'll move to LA still, and Brighton's just nice. Every time we come back, it's like, man, we have a nice house. We live in a nice part of town.
Yeah.
The people are cool. The restaurants are really nice.
Yeah, like LA just seems intense, from my experience with it.
It's too city, I feel, and especially like it's definitely the culture behind it is definitely I feel run by this like stardom culture
It's a big meat
around it.
grinder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't really, because I said it before that when I went on tour, you get a good sense of like life in different pockets of the world.
Yeah.
And then like going around different states, I was like, oh, this is kind of like that state, but you guys do this instead, and you kind of get a feel for the culture a bit. Everything still felt like quintessentially America.
Yeah.
But then LA is just a different beast. Like, it feels like we would go down the streets and like walk around, and you can get a sense for the place, like who's walking around and who lives there, and like they're just a slice of life.
Yeah.
But LA is so hard to find that with.
Yeah.
Anywhere you walk in it, which is very few places, it feels like everyone's just there to work.
Yeah.
And no one like lives there.
Yeah, like every time I meet like someone in LA, you just get used to people introducing themselves, then saying what they do immediately.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
normally that's like a few layers down in the conversation, but in LA it feels like, okay, I'm this person. By the way, I also do this. I'm working on this, and that's just like that was just like very forward for me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Working on screenplay.
I got propositioned one in an Uber in LA, and then on the same trip, we heard a guy walking down the street, and it's like, I just don't think they're going to go for that screenplay. Maybe if we pitch them this other one. I was like, no fucking way people talk like this. I was like, are we in a movie? They walk on set.
Yeah, you're in like the traffic and there's someone like practicing their lines in like the car next to you or something.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you hear horror stories of people who move there and then like change and become Hollywood.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I think it's impossible not to. That was another thing. I was kind of afraid to move there in case I did.
Become this monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just, because I'm a sponge, I'll just take in what's around me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm surrounded by that all the time, that's all you know. And
Yeah.
it's very disconnected from the rest of the world. I feel like when we come back here and we live here, it's like people don't talk the same. They're not talking about stocks all the time. Like investing in houses.
Gonna
and,
have to scrap the next topic then.
So NFT.
Yeah. I think that's like another big reason why like I probably could never see myself living in a place like that, because it's like, yeah, again, like I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, who turns into that, right?
Yeah.
And it's and yeah, like I love all the people. I love all my friends that live in LA. For
sure,
They're all
yeah.
amazing people, but at the same time, yeah, it is kind of like another world.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel real.
I mean, I have so many friends there, and so many of them just complain about LA all the time. Like they don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
But
They can't leave.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to get out.
Well,
I feel.
it's the best place for this type of work.
Yeah, it is.
I'm never more productive than when I go to LA.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's always something that you could be working on.
Yeah.
Infinite connections, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you want to network, then LA is the place to be.
Yeah.
But at what cost?
Is there no part of you that ever wanted to try living in Korea for a bit?
I don't think so. I think it's too much of a culture shift.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm a very social person, and I feel like I would not integrate as much as I would want to.
Right.
I feel like I would be very scared and nervous to like speak Korean to people, and I would never go out and like join like a book club or go meet people at like an event or anything.
Right.
like that.
Would you?
Scary.
Would you ever? Are you planning to? I guess like stay in like UK and Ireland then? Do you see yourself like sticking around this
I think
kind of
so,
area?
yeah. I think it's nice enough. I think we've carved out like a nice niche like place for us here, and
Yeah.
I think again it keeps me very like grounded and keeps me like very in touch with the world,
Yeah.
and like walking around here and in Brighton, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm actually like a part of the bigger picture in
Yeah.
a weird way.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
It doesn't feel like a bubble like everywhere else. But I've done LA for like 3 months at one point, and it was really fun. I had a lot of friends there, and like every night was good to hang out with. And
Yeah.
there's so many good restaurants in LA.
Yeah. That is one thing that every time I go back to LA, I'm looking forward to the restaurant and foods.
It's like the only place outside of Korea that has good Korean barbecue.
Yeah.
Korean barbecue is really good.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that. Like, because we're going to LA actually in about like 3 weeks. Yeah. From the time of this recording, and the first place I always want to hit up is the Korean barbecue. Of
course.
Yeah.
You can eat meat. It's just insane.
Yeah.
It's just, you get it in Japan. It's like, yeah, it's all you can eat. Maybe if you're lucky and we're nice,
Yeah.
but probably.
Well,
not.
Korean barbecue I feel is very different to like yakiniku, right?
Yeah,
Like
it
Japanese
is.
barbecue.
Yeah, it is.
They're both amazing, but it's like it's definitely a different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite Korean dishes, or just any favorite like food in general?
I mean, I'm a sucker for just a good bibimbap.
Oh god, yeah,
But like
yeah.
the proper Korean one, like the stone bowl.
Yeah.
It's still crackling as it comes out.
Yeah.
It's just really good. It's nice and spicy and warm, and like it's good winter food. But there's also another one called solongtang, which is like it's like a ox bone broth.
Yeah, I've had that once. It's
very tasty.
It's tasty, and it just like it cleans the soul. That's what it feels like. I remember one time like I was like one of the most hungover I've ever been in Korea. I felt awful and had like the ox bone soup, and it just felt like my body was just like so refreshed afterwards. I don't know what you guys put in there, but like it's like the ancient herbal like the ancient herbal medicine that they like you know that everyone talks about. That's what it felt like.
For 1,000 years.
Yeah, right.
Just mix it in.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like a mandu jjigae, which is like a dumpling stew as well.
Okay.
Just any of those like, it's like stuff that I wouldn't get here really, and it was like, it's so good.
I mean, there's probably a lot of stuff that you can't really get here, right?
Yeah.
Like, at least not proper.
Yeah. And I still stand by the Korean food, my favorite food in the world.
I love Korean food.
I love it.
Yeah.
Korean fried chicken is also fucking incredible.
People don't realize that Koreans have perfected fried chicken.
It's the best.
Yeah,
They have the best.
I think Koreans have the best fried chicken in the world.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think I've ever heard or met anyone who has said that they don't like Korean food. So
Yeah.
it's pretty difficult.
We just haven't had it. That's a lot of
Yeah, well, they haven't had the good one.
Because I guess like Korean food wasn't as popular, I guess like 10 years ago or something. Because I remember like I'd never even tried Korean food until around like 10 years ago, and then because it was all like, you know, you see like Indian food or like Japanese food or Chinese food, and like I never got a chance to try Korean cuisine. And then remember the first time trying it, I was like, why is this not more popular? You know, why is this not more widespread?
Yeah, K-pop are doing a lot of the heavy lifting on that front.
Yes.
Spreading it to the world, which is great. Because now we have like a good Korean restaurant in Brighton called Kogi, which is just meat.
Yeah.
But it does like legit Korean food.
Yeah.
Cool. So good.
I gotta check it out. I think that's new. Is it new since or has it been around for a while?
I think it was right before pandemic, and I'm so happy that pandemic didn't kill it.
Okay.
Because I was very worried. I was like, you haven't been open long enough to like have a float of cash.
Yeah.
To like survive this, but I think they're still going strong.
Yeah, because I feel like in Brighton now there's just like there's been a lot of restaurants been popping up now. Because I obviously moved out of Brighton like just before pandemic, and even then I wasn't really living in Brighton as well. I was more living in Thailand. So just seeing like. One thing that I've learned from Japan is I love food culture, I love restaurant culture, and I come back to Brighton and now there's like every cuisine under the sun. There's like cool restaurants. I'm like, fuck yes. Yeah.
So like another thing, I guess, that you've been doing a lot recently is the whole touring thing, right? Yeah, and as someone who, well, as we're about to do our very first tour, like I want to know as like the upperclassman, like, you know, the experienced one of tours. Like, is
the
there
senpai.
like, the senpai of tours? is there like any, I guess, like how different is it to like say, you know, a regular convention or like really like anything?
It's so much better than regular content. It's like, because like, well, this is great because you actually have people to like talk to, laugh and joke around with. But when you're on your own and you're recording a Let's Play and it's like, am I funny? Nope. And then you're just waiting for the camera to laugh back and it doesn't. It's like when I went on tour, I came back and I was miserable because I was like, I don't know how to make videos anymore. It's so uncomfortable. I'm just by myself and nothing I'm saying is funny. And I think some of that still lingers around today, but it's such a fun, electric energy. And I was doing them like every day and going out to a show and seeing so many parts of the world. And again, food culture is such a massive part. The best part of tour is everything between your show. Because I had a really good tour family and everyone was very mature and no, like, there was no like egos anywhere and everyone was just so nice and I got to know them so well.
Man, the fact that you call it a family and not a team just says a lot. like they say they're a tour team. They say they're a team. This is the family.
We're a
guy.
family. Vin Diesel. Because you just spend, everyone's like sleeping on the bus and you all kind of like, you're in such close proximity to each other.
Right.
If any ego is there, you'll know it immediately.
Right.
And everyone will get on each other's nerves. But we just have so much fun going to restaurants and like, oh, this is the biggest restaurant in this city. Let's go there. And we would hang out and just drink after the shows or go to a place like a day early. We went to Florida and I got to see like Universal and got to go to the Harry Potter land there.
Awesome.
Just like most of my best memories are probably from tour.
What's like the wildest location that you remember from like any of your tours where it's like I want to go back and do a show there, or like I want to go back there to like experience, what I experienced during, pre or post show.
Yeah, the weirdest one I think was New Orleans, New Orleans. Which wasn't selling well initially, and then they were like, oh, they're a musical town, like they'll show up on the day and they'll buy tickets at the door.
Right.
And then I got there and they didn't. So half the theater was empty. Right. It was like daylight out. I could see everybody, and it was like people were yelling at each other in the crowd at each other.
During the show?
Yeah. Being like, you're great, and somebody else being like, shut the fuck up, he's doing a show. Be like, no, you shut the fuck up. And I was like, I'm probably remembering it far more like hyperbolic than it was.
Yeah.
That was like, New Orleans is such a weird town because they have a place called the French Quarter, I think, and that was like all the old timey buildings and like what you think New Orleans looks like.
Right.
That area of the world, and it was like right after Mardi Gras.
Right.
So there was so many people out like still celebrating that. And
Right.
Then it was just like, it was almost like a line in the sand, and then suddenly it's just Metropolis out of nowhere. So it was like going from old to new immediately, and all these people out in the streets all having fun, and there was like a death museum there, and we had like crawfish, and then I had snails for the first time there, and I was like, it was all these like experiences back to back where I was I'm not.
Wait, pause. What the hell is a death museum?
Where you go and like look at stuff about like dead bodies and pieces of like.
That's not just a cemetery?
No, you get to see them. It's like a cemetery with windows.
At the end, you join the museum.
It's just like a lot of stuff about like the history of like death and like medical culture and how they discover stuff. And
Pretty sure the history of death goes all the way to the start of humanity.
it'll go all the way to the end.
This guy Isaac Death discovered death, and humanity just was never the same again.
He brought it upon everything. But that was a weird experience. So it was just a lot of like crazy shit happening. But then I think the coolest one was probably Florida, because I got to do it in Universal. So it was like it was like the Hard Rock Cafe in Universal.
Right.
So I kept hearing like, we're doing the Hard Rock Cafe, and I was like, those are a big deal. And then we were like walking around Universal, and I was like, is the Hard Rock I'm doing like bigger than this? And they were like, that is the one you're doing.
Oh, wow.
So you actually had to like go into like the start of Universal to see it. And then there were so many people outside of it, and I think there was something about it, like it was the first one or it was the biggest one in the world, like the Hard Rock.
Right.
And then we got like a private tour around it and got to see like the upper area where like Paul McCartney stuff was, and like
Oh my
like
god.
Elvis's stuff was like lying around. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome.
That's a
Yeah, and then doing it, and like the floor design of that one was like a perfect like semicircle, and like I was able to talk to everyone perfectly. Acoustics were great.
Yeah.
The show slapped harder than it did in most places. So
Awesome. What did you do in the shows?
I did a mix of like stand-up with like small snippets of gameplay in it. So
Right.
it was like a story about my life done in a stand-up comedy way, where I would tell stories of my past with like punchlines and everything.
Okay.
Right.
But then it was like broken up into 3 acts, where I would have like act 1 would be like my childhood, and here's where I grew up and everything about that. And then I played a modded Pokemon Blue, because that was the first game I remember getting that I loved.
Right.
But the characters in it, like we set it up that you fought your rival, you had to fight 6 Pokemon, but all 6 were named after like the hard things in your life, like fear, doubt.
Right.
And then the last one's called Red. So we'd bring someone up on stage to play it, and then give them a chance to like be a YouTuber for like
Right.
20 minutes. And then we'd move on to like my teenage years, and that was like when I was like depressed and lived in a cabin in the woods and was miserable.
Right.
Kind of like just sort of like relate to the audience. And then the last one was we played Shadow of the Colossus for that one, because I discovered that game during that period.
Right.
And then someone came up and played that, and then adulthood was all about YouTube and where I went from there and how I uplifted myself out of that. And then we played Happy Wheels on stage, because it's the most hype game to play live ever.
Yeah.
Right.
But the whole point of the show was to kind of like relate the story of my life entertaining wise, but to show them like, here's where I came from, here's what I did, nothing is special, I'm nobody,
Yeah.
but here I am like doing it.
Yeah.
How do you make sure a show doesn't suck?
I don't know.
Because we were hoping you'd tell us so that our show doesn't look sucky.
Do you write the show and then you're like, fuck, it's not funny. How do I make this
Do you call up
funny?
screenwriters in LA to be like, help me out, bro?
Well,
Call up Uber drivers in another.
I did it with Real Good Touring, was like Brent and Aaron and those guys.
Oh yeah. We're doing it as well. Yeah.
So I like wrote out the structure of it, and they were like, so can you perform it for us? And I did practice shows for like 400 people in like Chicago and stuff, and I did it, and I was like, okay, it's a show. Like I never wrote out the jokes properly. I kind of just improv. I had like pillars to hit.
Right.
Kind of like improv as a
Yeah.
And then as the show progressed, I got better and better at it and like trimmed the fat a little.
Yeah.
But it'll work because you guys know each other so well. You've been around each other so long. You bounce like the same humor off each other. So
Hopefully, yeah. How much planning went into like, I guess not like the actual like planning the logistics, but like the content of the tour or the show itself?
The narrative, like how long
did that take to like?
I think for me it was like 4 months. But I kind of knew what I wanted going into it. Like I had the idea to do, because Paul Burnham had released Make Happy at the time.
Right.
Special before Inside. And I was like, I want to do something like that. Where it's like, I always wanted to try stand-up anyway. I didn't want to get up and do what I always do, but kind of a little bit to like pander to the audience with the games and stuff.
Right.
But I wanted it to make sense in it. But the whole point was that I wanted to do something fun, but have like a message at the end of it.
Right.
And the final line of the show was like, go out and be the heroes of your own story and like empower people to like do the thing. Because everyone looks at this stuff and they're like, how did you do it? Who do you know that like got you here? And like PewDiePie shout out and all this stuff. And they think that like these specific steps need to happen.
Right.
I grew up in a town of 600 people and knew nothing about the world. And I fucked up tons of times along the way, and I was miserable and depressed and hated myself and failed college. And I was like, I still got up and like talked to people on the stage.
Yeah.
Like anybody can do it, really.
Yeah.
You make it sound a lot easier.
Not good.
Well, it's a different type of show. You don't have to get up and have that specific type of show.
Yeah. I mean, you sound like it sounds like an amazing show with an amazing amount of preparation and content that's gone into it. Yeah. And I'm sitting here listening, being like, guys, so he set the standard, but you know, don't
expect to outshow him like that. Like, please.
There's a reason we're not in Freedom.
Yeah, the tour did a lot for me.
Ryan Reynolds is in the audience.
I feel like I'm just a good bullshitter. I feel like I can get up and like talk
Isn't
off.
that YouTube? It's got every YouTuber.
I feel like I can like talk myself out of any scenario. So I feel like I really enjoy live stuff, and I enjoy it a lot more than like scripted stuff doesn't really play that well with me.
Do you enjoy live streaming much?
No.
That's so odd. So you enjoy live stuff, but not live.
Because I can't hear them.
By live, you mean like the feedback of like the emotions.
And it's like you're in the space and everyone's there for a specific energy. And if like we had a thing at the start where I was like, put away your phones. You've seen me through a screen enough. Like now is not the time to do that.
That's what's gonna happen to Connor after our tour. He's gonna try and go back in the live stream and be like, it's not the same.
Like when I don't hear the pogs in like the crowd.
Where's the laugh? Where's the laugh track there?
Maybe I'll go live and I'm like, this is boring. Where's the feed? I want to see.
Just have a fucking sound deck where you can just play a laugh every now and then.
Yeah. Did you?
It is more fun to do it live, and I feel like because the show wouldn't translate to a video well. We did the documentary and everything of it, but we still pulled out so much of the show from it because I'm like, none of these jokes land if you're not there.
Of course.
And everyone's there to giggle, and everyone's there to like anything you say will make them laugh. And I feel like nothing's like taken out of context. Nothing is weird about it. No one like takes something and then brings it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I feel like live streaming is a lot of that, where I'm like, I could say something and you could take it out of context and put it somewhere else. And seeing people show up, I'm such a people pleaser. So if somebody says I hate this and it's 1 out of like 1,000, I'll still see it and it'll like ruin my whole mood. So I empathize with people way too easily. And if someone's not having a good time, I'm like, it's my fault. I fucked it up. I'm like, why am I live? Why did I go live if people aren't enjoying it?
Did you get many hecklers or anything like that?
Not like bad hecklers.
Right.
Just people who are enthusiastic, who treated it like a panel at a convention.
Yeah.
And I like lost my trail of thought and I fucked up one of the jokes one night and said like the punchline way too early.
How do you recover from that on stage though?
Yeah, I didn't. I just moved on. It was awful. I froze, and I had. Maybe if you do your life, you've had this experience, because other people I've talked to have had it where you go on. I'd done the show like 30 times at this point, and then at some point I was like saying the show, and I like drifted out of my body, and I was like, what if I fuck this up right now? And I was like, I could say anything. I could say the most horrific shit ever that would ruin everything. And then I was like, wait, I'm not even paying attention to what I'm saying, and my mouth was just like saying all of the jokes.
Right.
And then it was like I came back into my body and I was like, I've never had that experience before.
Wow.
some therapist is like, yeah, you have a condition.
Yeah, come see me in my office.
But that was so bizarre how your brain just like takes over and just works through.
Yeah.
Which I guess you probably get doing live streams.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Thinking about dinner and everyone's in chat, like you're just making jokes though.
Yeah. You can definitely autopilot.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I do it on this podcast, you know, not
Yeah,
even with a live
honestly.
audience. Sometimes I'm just like, my mouth is like moving right now, but I don't know what point I'm trying to make.
I'm just saying shit, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, God, I gotta take a shit. Like,
Do you have ADHD by any chance?
Yes, I do. Yes, but I actually only got recently diagnosed. Actually,
Like 2 months ago.
Hell yeah! High five. ADHD club.
Yeah.
Wish I could join in those flags.
yeah, I can't either.
I'm just fascinated to know how many people who do this job have ADHD because I'm
think a
convinced
lot.
it's like
Yeah.
I think it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every live stream right now is ADHD.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible to be a successful streamer if you don't.
I don't know about that.
To be honest, like it's because it's so much stimuli, right? And
It
it's
is.
like, yeah.
And there's so much multitasking.
Yeah.
And I guess even like at the beginning, it just felt so overwhelming. You
Right.
know, like you have like you want to play the game, you want to do whatever activity, but then you have to have like a second, like a third eye to keep an eye on the chat and everything like that. It's like, it's
Just do it.
yeah. And then it becomes second nature.
Yeah,
But like I
yeah.
remember when you
You start
off,
off, it's like, oh, it's too
Yeah.
much.
yeah.
I've said this to these guys, but I don't really enjoy gaming if I'm not doing it on stream. I just feel like
Yeah.
unless I see those like funny little emotes popping up in the corner of my eye, I'm like, something in my brain.
There's a whore for content.
I think maybe I am. I think I am a whore for content. I think.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
yeah.
If I don't see that cake W, it doesn't get me up in the morning, man.
Something about seeing that Spanish guy laughing, that just makes me feel so happy. I'm like, I made a joke and people laughed even though it wasn't funny. But
Yeah.
oh, these paid actors are great.
What you have is called a parasocial relationship.
Maybe I'm the parasocial one. And I'm like, guys, please turn up.
Please laugh at my joke.
Yeah.
It's like at least something to like making your own schedule. I think ADHD people relate to.
Yeah, definitely, because like that's why to me like I could never be like a full-time streamer, I think, because with a stream, sometimes you always feel the pressure to stream like certain hours,
Yeah.
at least like real professional streamers, where with YouTube,
Professional stream.
but like with YouTube, my productivity is not like a linear curve, So I'll have like certain days, certain weeks where I'm just like on it, and then certain months where just like nothing happens and I don't know what to do about it, and it just like it goes up and down. So that's one big difference between I think YouTube and Twitch streaming that I enjoy.
I mean, you upload it every day
Yeah.
with ADHD.
Yeah, you basically had a streamer schedule on YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, I have done the streaming thing for a while. We did the Rust
Yeah.
server like years ago.
Oh, right,
All
yeah.
the Among Us crew, and I was streaming like 8 hours some days and like staying up till 6 a.m. to play it.
Yeah.
But after that, I don't know, it just made me anxious to go live.
Yeah.
I feel like I can make something more entertaining when it's paced around editing.
Right.
But if it's me, I'm like, I just find myself boring.
You think there's like too much downtime between like
Yeah.
the highlights, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just like a background kind of brain thing going on.
Right.
I don't know. Just the feeling of having to like please people live just kind of got to me.
Yeah.
I can imagine like, cause I guess like I can relate, because when you feel like you do have to like always be on it and always like be entertaining, it's just so draining, Whereas with I guess like with a Let's Play, you can take a break and you just like, okay, this part's gonna be edited out,
Yeah.
no pressure. But when it's live, you constantly feel like you have eyes watching you.
Yeah. Plus, if I stream, like you said, there's a certain amount of hours. Like if you stream less than 2 hours, everyone's like, go away.
Yeah.
But it just got in the way of other work. Like there's other things I want to do. Like my YouTube would suffer for it, and if I'm not uploading those streams, then what's the point?
Yeah.
I'm a much better YouTuber than I am a streamer.
Right.
It's not the same skill set at all.
Yeah.
Despite what people think.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Going back to the tour, I'm wondering like, did you find that there was like different crowd energy in like the different places that you went, and you had to like kind of tailor your performance to wherever you were, or like the energy that you felt?
Yeah, I mean that's what I was saying. How like you can tell Americans are just far more boisterous about things.
Right.
For a live scenario, that's fucking amazing because they will
Yeah.
cheer you on to everything. And they're so much like more energetic, and they're just so much more. Maybe they're more attuned to live culture or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just loud, but it's great. It made me feel awesome. But then going to Europe, it was very different because there's like some jokes that are kind of like about Ireland and being a Catholic boy and being an altar boy in church and things like that. I think Americans relate to Irish people very much, considering they all tell me they're Irish.
Yeah.
But don't know any places from there. But I think
Factory, of course.
You go to Boston and suddenly everyone's Irish.
But places like France and Germany, like there was language barriers and stuff, and like Irish humor didn't really play as easily. People were still fun and they had energy and they were still energetic about it, but some places laugh more than others. And then having a joke about I had a joke about being an altar boy, and then I was saying like teenage years got dark or whatever, and it was like a joke about basically hinting at like priest versus altar boy culture.
Right.
But not saying anything about it, obviously, just letting the audience like make that interpretation. And then I was like, no, not that kind of show. And people would laugh, but Salt Lake City did not like it. It's like Mormon Mecca. Where all the Mormons like go and like big churches right there, and they were kind of like, don't like that one.
Do people like come up to you after the show, for example, and like, you know, be like, oh, hey, you know, I really liked your show, but like this joke was kind of weird, or, you know, because you hear about like comedians doing that, right? Like after the show, they'd like go into the crowd and be like, meet the fans, or like, you know. And
it turns out it's really easy when you're not transphobic. Like, if you're not saying racist shit, transphobic shit, homophobic shit, it's real easy to like put on a show without those jokes in there.
What a hot take.
Only the hottest takes here on Trash
It's really
Taste.
easy not to punch down on.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, my jokes never really went that far, and a lot of stuff is about my life and my experience through it. So it's like,
Luckily, you weren't a transphobic racist. Is it?
Yeah.
Life's much better when you're not though.
When a joke doesn't land, does it like, because like I can imagine it like in like a Twitch scenario. I can't imagine it in a live scenario where you're just like, this joke's gonna land.
Yeah,
and
because
it's just
if you say a joke on Twitch, right, the worst thing you'll have is someone in the chat being like, that wasn't funny. But when they're in front of you doing that, I'm sure it hurts a lot more, right?
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where like I have a big punchline, and there was like one joke near the end of the show that even now, like I just didn't know how to get the punchline across.
Right.
And I would say it, and then people laughed at the thing before it a little louder. Like, oh, that's not the punchline. I'm like, do I move on from this now and like cut it off there, or do I? But I'm a whore for a laugh. I'll keep hammering it until someone laughs, and then if it's really cringy, you just lean into that and be like, no takers? Oh, okay. I thought we were here for a comedy show, but I guess not. And then the show in London, I did it at the Troxy Theatre, and I don't know why I said that. No one fucking knows where that is. But I did it there, and the projector broke, so the HDMI connection didn't work. So when I had to have the game on screen, it didn't show up. So I had to like vamp for a bit and like build up the crowd and like bake it into the show. But people said it was funny, and I'm like, you got a more unique experience, I guess, out of it.
Yeah.
So sometimes the cringe kind of like helps, but there's definitely times where I'm like drowning on stage, and I'm like, geez, just now I don't have enough material.
That makes me feel good that at least I have these two to rely on.
Right? Like, I don't think I could ever do like a solo like stage show. Like,
If we drown together.
With enough prep, you'd be able to do it.
Right.
I think any of you would be able to.
I hope so. Maybe
You're too
one day, I
kind.
don't know. But this time around, at least it'll just be us three. We got each other's back. Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do in the show?
That's a really good question.
Well, I mean, like
Time to start thinking about it.
I mean, without spoiling any of the ideas that we have right now, the general idea is to bring the Trash Taste experience, which we're famous for, just on stage. Because
basically what you're experiencing right now, Sean. We want to give the audience a little bit of a taste of basically, you know, being on the show, being part of the show, kind of, you know, but hopefully better pace with less tangents, maybe. We'll see how it goes.
It will be more structured than one of our episodes, but it'll be like, you know, the highlights of why you like the Trash Taste show and everything, just brought on stage.
Sure, you have your own running jokes that you can bring back.
Oh, do we have our own running?
Many, yeah.
Bring people up on stage. That's always a crowd pleaser as well. And
that's always so scary though, like that concept, because it's like, what if you accidentally bring the wrong kind of person up on stage?
Oh yeah, that
because I'm sure that's happened.
It happened in Iowa, where it's like I brought people up and being like, "Do you have a YouTube name?" Because it's like if you're going to sit in the chair and like do the thing, if you have a YouTube, now is the time to shout it out. So,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
people here will go home and watch you if you're good at this. But then it was a chance for people to make up their own name, and then I would make up like titty sprinkles and things like that.
Right.
But then one guy got up and said that he was R-word giraffe. And I was like, and the crowd cheered. And I was like, okay. I was like, nah, you've got a different name. And I was kind of just had to like cut it off and like move on immediately. But you don't want to like bum the crowd out and like admonish the person on stage.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the same time, it's kind of weird to be like, all right, thank you, R-word giraffe, for coming on stage.
It was just,
round of applause.
Round of applause for R-word giraffe.
yeah, it was tough.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess that just comes with experience then. That like hearing your stories, that scares me, but it also makes me excited. It sounds like a very, very fun experience.
I mean, I think everyone there kind of, because you're not like professional comedians, you're not like John Mulaney getting up. So
Yeah.
people expect them to handle it better.
Right,
And like
right.
hecklers and stuff, because I've been doing it for years and there's like a formula to it. But I think with our type of content, I think people are far more forgiving.
Yeah.
If you kind of like stall on stage and people are
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't know how to deal with that.
Yeah, but like I also think like a lot of YouTubers, we started off doing YouTube videos because we were not good at maybe like speaking in front of like a public audience, or maybe that's just how we were as a kid. You know, we never thought that we'd be like standing up on stage in a panel and like public speaking basically.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's a real learning curve to be like, maybe this is actually really fun, and it's a skill that you develop in your career which you never thought you would. I guess.
I think the secret to me for live shows was to not be afraid of the audience.
Right.
Because there's a tendency that there's so many more of them and now they're here and they demand a good show because they're paying for it.
Yeah.
But if they started heckling or anything, I would just like shit on them immediately.
Right.
Be like, it's not a fucking classroom. Like, you don't have all the answers. And like bake that into the show, and then they're kind of like, okay, I'll be quiet.
Right.
Or if someone gets up and says the wrong thing, then you just hand them the mic and be like, okay, good luck. Like, you handle the fucking crowd. There's a bunch of little things like that, and I think getting over that fear of like the audience can't like destroy me while I'm up here.
Yeah.
Should take notes.
Yeah, right.
Oh, if only there was some other way you could look back at it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know.
I can't watch back.
I don't watch my own shows. I guess like one thing I want to ask is someone who has been doing it for this long and who has amassed, the amount of subscribers
The
and the
cult,
fame that
yeah.
the cult, essentially. It's like, how do you see, I guess, the future of like content creation on YouTube, right? Because it's like, you've obviously hit a point that a lot of people today have not hit. It's kind of a, because like I could never relate. Obviously, it's like where you are, right? So it's like, I want to know, do you reckon as someone in your position, do you see like a future for YouTube content creation? Because like you were mentioning how like recent, culture around YouTube, you're not a massive fan of.
Not really. I don't blame it, and I don't like hate anybody who like plays into it. But for me, it's not why I started my stuff. And it's all like idea, title, and thumbnail first before anything else anymore. And then
Yes, it is.
and people have like, oh, I have an idea. How do I do this in like Fortnite? Because it's like, well, I have to get Fortnite in there as well.
Yeah.
It's like people are just playing the game and that's fine, but I've never liked doing that.
Yeah.
I'm always like, if I find a game that's like a random Japanese horror game that suddenly gets 4 million views, and then it's like, that feels better.
Yeah.
And I seeing
Yeah.
that in like the trending tab feels better than seeing all the same.
Like you don't want to be like a slave to the SEO, basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of, yeah. And
No,
I
I
feel
get
like
that.
I feel like my channel's been as successful as it is. Like I have the privilege of being able to do whatever I
Yeah.
want.
You played the closing shift. I played that recently as well,
Yeah.
and that was an experience.
That was phenomenal.
What a Starbucks simulator with horror in it. It's
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
ever played it?
I haven't
But I
played
saw a
it.
lot of YouTubers playing
It's
it.
so good.
Yeah.
I
It's
didn't
very,
know what
very
to
good.
expect, and it's just the right amount of jank to have so much character as
Right,
well.
right.
Oh god, the game.
Yeah, because I started going back and playing much more of their other games, and that closing shift one is definitely their best one. Like they've started
Yeah.
to like
Right.
hone in on what they're good at.
Basically, you work at like a Starbucks, to anyone who doesn't know, and you have a stalker. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's,
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of
Yeah.
clips. It looks genuinely
It's
unnerving.
got the
Yeah.
worst
Yeah.
jump scare in video game history. That fucking woman with the pram.
Yeah,
I fucking
with no baby in it.
I lost my fucking
Yeah,
heart.
I was ready to drop kick a child.
right. Would have just like fucking tipped the pram over. You
Yeah. But it's also kind of scary because you play as a woman like at night in this place with all these dudes like hitting on you, and it's like,
Right.
this happens.
Yeah.
It's not even like a ghost showing up. It's like just a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I think it's just that it's got that. I love this game. It was amazing. It was so much fun. Please play it if you haven't. Because it'll have this super seriousness and it really builds up this tension. And then a guy will come in and start like naked breakdancing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I saw that clip.
completely, like, it's this game that just, in the best way, cannot decide what theme or mood it wants to give you.
And then
it like disarms you though.
Right.
Because you're scared. And then this guy comes in, you're laughing, and then you're like, oh, I really close up. And then you get jumped. It's so
And then
good.
the other dude comes in, he's like, no need to Nihongo Jozu me.
That one's so
I'm like,
good.
fuck off.
Is that an actual line?
Honestly, it's such a good game.
Yeah.
And 90% of it is you making coffees. And it's so stressful.
Definitely gonna try that out.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
it's very
I
good.
think
Yeah,
especially
it
as
looks
like as a content creator, there's definitely that aspect of like, this stalking thing is a little too
Yeah.
a little too
It's,
close.
it's just made by two Japanese brothers.
Yeah.
Just go by Chilla's Art online. But they make really, really good games. Because their old stuff is all like supernatural shit.
Yeah.
Now I feel like they're really getting into like real stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much scarier.
Yeah.
Now that your content is so like obviously like revolved around gaming before, has that changed your relationship with gaming at all?
No, I game all the fucking time.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
Are you a
defi-
gamer?
Are you a gamer?
And I have a girlfriend.
Impossible.
He's also touched grass.
I mean, I pick and choose what I play more. I think this time. And
Right.
there's still sometimes when I'm like, a game comes out, I'm like, fuck, I should have played that on my channel. It was so good.
Right,
And
right.
it's like very hit and miss sometimes, and then I don't know. I like having games for myself. I think that's my favorite pastime.
Yeah.
still. And I like how they're made, and I always kind of wanted to get into game design and voice work and stuff. So I think from a mechanical standpoint, I
Right.
still really like them quite a bit, and artistically, and they're just so good, and they just keep getting better.
What's
Yeah.
like
so
your,
many to play.
what's like your recent favorite game?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I was going to
Oh,
say.
yeah,
I knew he was
okay.
going to. Elden Ring was
Okay,
so
yeah,
good. They had
Surprise,
That was a
surprise.
dumb question.
They haven't played it. They won't play it. I don't know why.
No, I don't
think I'm
put
gonna fucking
words in
play
my
it now?
mouth.
Just play it right now.
No.
Stop it.
No,
So
the thing is, I know I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
That's exactly why haven't started yet, because
You love
my-
Berserk and haven't played. Have you played the
You
other
can
ones?
play as
Yes, I
gods.
have. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I play Bloodborne and like the Dark Souls games. Like I love FromSoft, but like I know I'll get into it, and that's exactly why I'm scared to get into it. It's like Final Fantasy 14. Like I know I'll get into it, but I know if I start,
Right.
commitments out the window.
It's worth it. It's worth
It definitely ruined my life for a month.
Right?
But
Yeah.
it's worth it. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
No, it is.
But like,
it
if it
is.
had come out like this time last year, like in the middle of the pandemic,
It was supposed to come out earlier, okay? No need to rub it in.
Yeah.
right?
We waited so long.
Exactly.
It was the perfect pandemic game, and now I'm like traveling in like fucking
Yeah,
four
exactly.
different countries in like 3 months or whatever. I'm like, this is
It'll be there.
yeah.
It is definitely a daunting task to take
Yeah.
on because the first playthrough is like 70 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, there's a guy who can beat him in like 3 minutes as well.
He's not even playing Elden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing Dance Dance Revolution and
Yeah.
shit is happening on the screen.
It's like coding the game.
Yeah. The zipping speedruns are like, what the fuck is the point of this?
I mean, he doesn't even like them. On his streams, he's like, I wish I could fight things.
I wish I could play the game.
His Bloodborne one is still really, really good, and that's all like perfecting like the craft,
Yeah.
perfecting the bosses.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah. I guess like final question, like is that you've done already so much with your career. Is there anything
Yeah,
left
what's
you want to
next?
do in the future?
Like, you've done multiple tours now. You've amassed a massive following. You've met Ryan Reynolds. Like, I don't think there's anything else.
Where's it go from Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, how do you top Ryan Reynolds?
Co-starring with Ryan.
Yeah.
I think narrative stuff is kind of where I'm headed.
Right.
I kind of had like projects in the back of my head and stuff that I've wanted to do for a long time, like stories and
Right.
like acting out characters and stuff. And I think I'll probably get into that.
Write a
Right.
book?
Hell no. There was a big pressure to write books years ago when everyone was doing them. And I was like, I
Yeah.
haven't lived a life.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to write about?
I think you have now.
Yeah.
What about the Jack Cookbook?
You can write a whole
The
chapter just
workout
on
DVD.
being friends
When's
with Ryan
the workout
Reynolds.
Jack.
DVD? Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want to focus on the coffee stuff. And I feel like I haven't even like nearly started cranking that as much as I could.
Right.
Just kind of before it was like taking on too many things and doing them all kind of poorly. And now I can
Right,
take on a few things and do them a bit better and
Yeah.
focus. And
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Good
like a good.
mindset.
Yeah, sounds like a good path. Cool.
Well, thank you for coming on the
Yeah.
show.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Hey,
Thank
look
you
at
so
all these
much.
patrons, though. Oh my
Yeah.
god, you see all of them, Jack? Look at them all. They're
Yeah.
flying out everywhere.
Why are they here?
Because they support the show.
People pay for this?
Isn't it crazy?
Oh, that name there.
Yeah,
oh, you
oh,
paid for it. This is just a shame credits.
But hey, if you'd like to join the shame credits, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashdays. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And yeah, I mean, you already know who fucking Jack
Do you want to shout out?
know who it is.
Yeah.
You want to shout out your socials, Jack?
Buy my coffee.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
My socials mean nothing anymore.
What is
Yeah.
it, topofthemorningcoffee.com? Or what's
There you
up?
go. There you go.
Did I get that right?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Your sponsors for this episode are going to be very upset.
No, it's fine, it's fine. Don't
Start
worry
out
about
another one.
it. Yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. This was very fun.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode as well.
Bye.
Stay weeby.
But yeah, like I said, Japan's like an absolute content goldmine for like streamers, YouTubers, because there's like one thing about Japan and just Japanese culture is that it's a country that really caters to any niche. So if you have like a niche in Japan, a niche hobby, no matter how strange it is, there's going to be something that caters towards that niche, whether it be a vending machine or whether it be a weird cafe or a girls' bar. There's so many weird stuff. That's because it really caters towards anything that you can think of. So yeah, come over to Japan, man.
Oh, God. So you guys are in town for AX, Anime Expo, right? You guys come every year?
Like I've been coming every year since 2017. Although I'd say that it's weird because I've been on YouTube for 15 years now, and most of my YouTube career has been like a very, very niche content creator. Because when I grew up and when I started doing YouTube, anime was like such a niche industry and a niche hobby. And it's just been so my channel and my growth has basically grown with the anime fandom and the anime industry itself. And it's so weird now seeing one, how big Anime Expo has become, and two, seeing other creators and seeing other massive like celebrities come out to say that they watch anime, where it's like so surreal for me because that was like, there was no way I could ever imagine anime getting this big when I started YouTube. Like, do you watch anime? I assume you do, right?
Yeah. Were you paying attention during the whole Twitch streamers watch anime?
Yeah, I was.
Oh my God.
How did that feel from someone who's like,
I was gonna bring it up. Actually. So like, okay, so how it felt on my end, right, was I get it. I want to watch anime on Twitch as well because I feel like it's just free promotion for like a lot of shows, and a lot of us anime fans, we grew up, you know, watching shows on, you know, fan subs or, you know, downloading and torrenting them, right?
YouTube, like reverse YouTube.
Fuck
240p.
Yeah.
Mexican subtitles. Spanish subtitles.
Naruto episode 100, part 1 out of 3. You know, the good old days. The good old days. And I really feel that helped. You know, that helped promote anime to a lot of people who would never get the chance to watch anime. I feel like if live streamers could just watch anime like they do YouTube videos, it would give anime such a big boost, especially like imagine like old forgotten shows that nobody really watches anymore, right? Nobody cares about. That's like such a great avenue to bring it to a new audience. The problem is that Japanese companies they just work differently. And like us on our end, because our agency is like a subsidiary of like one of the biggest anime companies in Japan right now. Even now, we have to like fight tooth and nail to get anything approved in terms of using that IP in the online space. So it did hurt a bit because I saw it and I'm just like, I get it, but damn, I'm like here fighting for my life here, just to get like these companies to try and listen to us, and seeing like the meta of just like streaming TV shows. I was scared that it was just going to set us back maybe. But you know, I do agree that we should definitely like try to, you know, I really feel like companies should be more involved and should allow streamers to, you know, stream and broadcast more anime towards their audience, because I think that's just like a genius strategy. Yeah.
I think it's so easy, especially because there's so many remakes nowadays. Like, everything from remakes baskets to, they just announced Trigun, a new Trigun next year, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say have streamers be able to restream like the old Trigun before like the release date of the new one. That feels like a gimme, right?
That feels like a win-win.
Yeah, that feels like no one's watching the old Trigun. I would be honest, that shit was so old, but I loved it. So I would watch it with my fans, right?
Exactly. It's so old. It's got the nostalgia factor, and it's just the audience has just like forgotten about it. And I feel like with the remake, there's going to be a new massive influx of people who are interested in this IP, and I feel like just having that opportunity for streamers to share what they love with their audience is just, I don't know, it's just like it's just so obvious to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky line to walk, because I definitely agree with you. It's like, this is net positive for the scene, but it just takes one like old exec at a Japanese company to say like, they're stealing our content, fuck everything, pull everything, and like, you know what? No more anime on YouTube even.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember we had like, I'm not sure if you guys have heard about it, but in the anime community there was this one guy who made Dragon Ball and like One Piece videos, and then 100 of his videos basically got striked and removed.
Oh my
God. And like they pleaded to like the Japanese company to like please understand that this is like fair use. He wasn't even like streaming it or whatever. He was literally just reviewing the show, and they just like striked everything. Yeah, and it got to the point where like even like fucking PewDiePie and stuff like started talking about it, because it's terrifying on someone on my end, because I feel like Japanese companies and Japanese mentalities when it comes to their like IPs is like 10, 15 years behind what you see here in the States. You know, everyone's like really forward thinking here compared to what you see in Japan.
Yeah, Nintendo was like the last company to be willing to let streamers stream their games.
Yeah.
Oh god, Nintendo and like the Smash scene have like this love-hate relationship with each other. I hear horror stories about working with Nintendo because they're just again, Japanese company. It's hard to get rid of old culture, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. I hear about Nintendo being like really awful to work with, but I see it as, hey, at least Nintendo's actually acknowledging you guys. We're not even being acknowledged here in the anime industry with a lot of companies. I mean, it's literally taken, working directly under one company in order to have like in order for them to listen to us at all. So it's slowly getting there. We're trying our best. But I do think there's like a lot of potential in the anime industry with like, with just more forward-thinking ways of promotion and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's definitely better to, if you're gonna do anime stuff, like to not do it. From my experience with the Japanese company, it's because like even if you can do it officially, there's a lot of rules and restrictions. And so after the whole anime thing, I know I got approached to do, I name names, but a game for like one of the most popular anime of all time. I'm not gonna be specific.
Okay. That narrows it down to like 5 shows. Okay.
It's the longest running shonen. I think everyone can figure out what it is at this point. And they're like, oh wait, we can't sponsor you because you watch anime on stream.
Really? Yeah. They actually? Okay.
I'm like, they got me there. I can't say shit. But it's like, I thought to myself, was the trade-off worth it to be able to watch anime on stream? But as a result, like, that's the punishment, right?
Yeah.
Like, these Japanese companies, like, well, you watch it. It wasn't, holy shit. Like, I didn't watch their anime.
Yeah.
I watched another anime, but they're like, hey, you broke this rule regarding something else, so we can't work with you.
Yeah. Because like I'd heard about it because like the anime industry is like so fucking small that you piss off one company and like Japanese companies talk to each other, man. You piss off one company, you piss off like everyone. So especially me, when it comes to my anime content, I have to be like super careful. For like how I present my content. Can I ask, why did you do it? Just because you wanted to watch anime on stream? Or
So
were you trying to like prove something?
The reason why I did it was because the meta for Twitch streamers was to watch Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
With Gordon Ramsay, because this guy, Trainwreck, did it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And ever since then, everyone just, if they're gonna watch one show, it's Hell's Kitchen or anything with Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm like, you fucking idiots. Just because one person did it for one show doesn't mean it's okay. It's just some guy tried to step on a landmine, didn't blow up, and you guys are all stepping on a landmine.
Right.
So I'm like, if you're gonna fucking stream shows, why don't you just stream what you want? Because one thing I hate about streamer culture is very monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
It's like, you're already committing like copyright infringement.
Yeah.
You don't have to do Gordon Ramsay. Go do Survivor. Go do like, Kim Possible or something. So I'm like, let me show you guys how to like jump on another landmine kind of deal.
Oh god.
So I did it with my favorite anime, Naruto.
Right.
And it's like fucking 30 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like watching it, and everyone's like, hey, you can't do this. This is illegal. I'm like, if this was a problem, why didn't anyone say shit when XQC is streaming Gordon Ramsay to 100K viewers, right?
Right.
It's because streamers don't think like that. They think one person did it, that means it's legal. It's for free for all, baby.
Right.
And it kind of had the opposite effect, where other streamers saw me do it, and they're like, I guess streaming anime is super legal now. And the whole time I'm like, that's you fucking it. No, I'm like, I can get banned at any time, and that would be 100% valid. So Pokey and Mizkiv both started watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. And I'm like, that's American. That's like Nickelodeon, who has a reputation for striking.
Yeah.
And Toki unfortunately got hit. XQC was doing Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
And he started getting scared as well. And like the whole time I'm thinking like, yes, you should be scared because just because someone does it doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah.
But in the middle of it, I realized, yo, this is kind of fun. I think there's a lot of appeal watching old stuff with an audience because you can like clown on like the characters, the running jokes and stuff. So I actually found like new respect and love for the show because of what I was doing. At the beginning, I was like, I'm just doing this to be stupid.
Yeah.
But in the middle, I'm like, I wish there was a way to do this legally. So I got striked, and it's like 100% valid, and it should happen. But it makes me think, it's like, is this something we should take advantage of before the Japanese catch up? Because like in the early day of YouTube, you could get away with a lot more things. And it was like both good and bad. Bad because infringement.
Yeah.
But good is because this is the kind of content people want. Like you said, I wish there was a legal way to do it, but Japanese companies are slow. American companies are getting around to it. Because of it. Crunchyroll did Spy Family with Twitch. And Paramount did Halo with some streamers.
That I don't know about that show. Oh god, that show might have been a little.
Yeah, but now imagine shows that are good.
Yeah, that's true.
With content creators. So like, I hope one day that streamers can stream like really old stuff.
Yeah, because like there's like a symbiotic relationship between game companies and game developers with streamers, and I feel like I feel like there is a big opportunity there with not just gaming. It could be like any form of media that people like to consume together, because like you said, watching Naruto, it's just like watching anime in general. I would love to watch it with like my audience or like a large group of people, because it just makes it more fun. It just makes it more fun, especially if it's something you love.
What anime would you choose to watch with all your fans?
One Piece.
Really?
Easy. I would love to, man.
Like One Piece or like all the fillers?
I would happily sit through all the fillers so I can clown on it with my.
Oh my god!
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
One Piece,
and that's like infinite content as well.
That's
like,
true.
I would start today, and I'd be like 20 years later. All right, guys, we're kind of getting to the end now.
Is it still the only manga you read?
One Piece, yeah.
He's up to date, I think.
Holy shit!
It's getting good. Like it just hit the climax, so now we're in like breather phase, and then it's gonna build up again.
I read a disgusting amount of manga, so I stopped at Wano, and I take One Piece one arc at a time. So I'm waiting for. I heard it's good.
It's finished.
Finished?
Yeah, Wano's finished.
Oh,
you're gonna have a great time.
I heard it's very good.
It's probably like the best post time skip One Piece arc so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like above and beyond.
I would choose Ping Pong the animation.
What about you? Anything else that's outside of Naruto, or?
Well, I plan to do Shippuden. I want to do it before the end of this year.
Oh
and
my!
If I can never do anything even remotely close, because the second I get struck for the third time, it's kind of like YouTube where you're
Is
just.
there a 3-strike system?
Yeah, but they don't just delete your channel. They will stop you from creating new channels. You can't appear on anyone's stream.
Right.
So it's very much playing with fire. I don't know if I'll do it. I'm sure like from the outside, when the whole Twitch anime meta was going on, like YouTube anime people are like, these guys are fucking idiots. What the fuck are you? They're gonna like ruin it for the rest of us. And I think that was one of my concerns. Like, I like doing things that are interesting, I guess. Right. And one of the risks I found was like, hey, I hope I get punished at the end. Like, I don't want like an industry changing event, and luckily like I just got striked and that was kind of the end of it. But I do think there is something there in terms of businesses and like broadcast companies working with streamers.
Well, do you think there's a risk that because like we like on YouTube we had this like massive apocalypse where we had like a new copyright system that was implemented, and that like completely changed the game in terms of like what you could and couldn't upload on YouTube. Do you think Twitch is like that's just an inevitability for Twitch, or?
I think so. So right now the reason why there's like industry stuff. But the reason why Twitch doesn't take action against these infringement, like I've seen Morbius streamed on Twitch for 24 hours straight.
Yeah.
And the reason why they can't take action, because legally, if they do it without a report, they are admitting that they are aware of infringement happening on the platform.
Right.
And if you do it for one, you have to do it for all. And Twitch obviously does not have the money to constantly monitor everything or assume that liability. So they only take actions if the copyright holder issues a strike.
Okay.
So that's how it works. Which is why a lot of people gets away with a lot of things, right? Because if you're a small streamer, you don't list it, you can probably watch like the entire Marvel series without anyone saying anything or claiming you.
Right. So that's really weird to hear because like for me, it felt like maybe Twitch was like a way more like the platform had matured way less than what I thought it had because it feels like, you know, if you blow up on Twitch and like some of the big mainstream creators on Twitch, it feels like there's some of like, you know, there's some of the most household names just in the creative field in general, you know? So it's comparing that to like say YouTube where everything is like very, very strict. Even though like the line is drawn pretty clearly, even if it's just below the line, sometimes you can get like demonetized or striked or something as well. I didn't know that Twitch was still in like, it feels like it's still in its infancy when it's evolving in terms of like setting rules and everything like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like YouTube pre-copyright system.
Right.
Like right now they don't have a way to live check your stream. So like everyone just like listens to copyright music and then like skips their audio.
Yeah.
But like at some point, like in the future, like it could go into like them being really like enforcing copyright and be able to monitor live streams. And when that happens, like honestly, streaming's gonna suck ass. I think it's gonna be awful. Like listening to a streamer and they're not able to like a lot of the greatest like stream moments happen with like great music.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Like his best clip actually was playing PUBG with Highway to Hell, and he had like a sick clip with it. Like and the time was perfect. But like imagining that without any copyright music, like it'd be terrible. Yeah,
it would definitely take the soul out of a lot of streams, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know. It's scary times, you know, because do you ever feel scared that like the platform could just completely change everything when you wake up the next morning? Because I fear that for YouTube, you know.
No, like I think I'm relatively like adaptable. Like it would definitely suck if we woke up the next day and it's like the second we detect anything copyrighty, we're gonna strike you. Then like it would be really sad. But then we just play games. Yeah, it's like there's not much you can do, right?
Just go back to basics. Yeah.
It'd be a pretty sad time. Like I listened to no copyright music for like 5-8 years.
Right.
Because I was like really scared of that, and I just like ended up being best for like my VODs as well. But then now I just stopped giving a shit because I was just like I want to listen to whatever music I feel like. So,
yeah.
It's like if you hear Taylor Swift, you didn't. No, you didn't. That never happened. So like, I'm like, I'm never too worried about it. I feel like every streaming platform has like 100 problems, and like any year they end up solving one.
Right.
And it's like, well, maybe in the 99 years we'll be able to reach the perfect streaming pinnacle.
Right.
But like, I'm not even gonna be alive during that. I'll be honest. So like, I feel like every system has flaws. The YouTube streaming system has flaws. The Twitch streaming has flaws. The other streaming spaces have flaws.
Yeah.
And so it's like you kind of live with what you can get.
Yeah.
And like, I live a pretty blessed life, so it's hard to really nitpick at like, well, they can fuck me over, but like.
Yeah,
I can work around it. I've never gotten banned. I've streamed for 11 years, so
that's a good record, man.
Yeah,
11 years.
Never gotten banned for anything.
Damn.
And I'm like, I kind of want to now. Like maybe I should start streaming.
Just watch it.
This is the goddamn saint of Twitch, man.
I'll start streaming Shippuden 4 toast, and then like I can eat 1 more ban, 2 more bans than he can. That's perfect.
Yeah,
go for it.
I thought about having someone else stream it, and then I would restream their stream. But honestly, I think they'll just ban.
Oh god!
No, I thought streamers just like they were just like, all right, I want to go on holiday. All right, let's do something bannable, okay?
Oh,
that's what I thought you guys did.
Like when you get banned and you return, like there's some hype around it. The problem is the 3 ban system.
Right.
It's terrifying,
right?
Because you're like, once you're at number 2, you just become paralyzed to do anything.
Right.
So I'm at 1. I probably won't risk it for a second one just yet. But Yeah, I know on YouTube it's so much harsher because Ludwig, he tried to get in on the anime meta. He streamed the intro to a Naruto opening, upside down, reversed, slowed down 50% audio. No. Instantly striped.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I'm like, I know this dealing with anime content on YouTube for so many years that I'm just like, that's basic. That was always going to get caught. If you play something longer than a 15 to 20 second clip, YouTube's algorithm is like really, really good now that it will detect it. Unless it's like you put it in like a post box with like a moving background or something, and at that point you can't even recognize the fucking show, you know. You're watching it through like Minecraft view, so yeah, that was always going to get caught. Like you mentioned, the streamer platform still like evolving and everything like that. I had a interesting conversation with another creator the other day about how long do you think your careers are going to last, right? And like as a YouTuber, I quit. Like I had a like real job for like a few years, and I quit that to do YouTube. And YouTube always felt like a job for me until I started Trash Taste. And the reason for that was because Trash Taste was like just a formula that I could just always like fall back on. You know, you talk about being creatively fulfilled, and you know it's great working on like big exciting projects, but as a YouTuber it burns you out so quickly, and sometimes you just need to get a fucking video out just like that. And having like a podcast where you just talk to your mates, that gave me that safety net, and that managed to allow me to transition mentally from thinking, okay, YouTube is a job versus this is now my career. But like, what's it like for Twitch streamers? Because do you think of this as a job, or do you think of this as like, okay, this is like my career now that I'm building something long term? Can you even think like that? I find it so interesting.
You've been doing it for 10 years.
11 years here, so you've got longevity.
I'll put it this way: like I have streamed through like I started at League of Legends Pro. I went to Worlds. I didn't transition to coach. I became an interviewer. I did all this stuff, and in between them, I was at like 10,000 viewers. I went down to like 800. Went back to like 10,000. I'm like currently at like 2, 3, whatever. And so like I've weathered through like all the storms, all the troughs and highs and peaks.
Yeah.
I used to think I could stream forever. Like people just like on average, I've streamed about 190 hours every month for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah.
I did a 365-day stream challenge where I streamed every single day of the year at 2019. Which was easy. It was COVID, I guess, kind of. Yeah. And then the next year I didn't do that, but I streamed more hours.
Right.
So like I love to stream, but recently it's felt like maybe a little bit more jobish than I wanted to, and I think that may be due to like a variety of factors. But like, I see it as it sounds like when you are on YouTube, you have to be creative, or else people don't watch. Like each video has to be unique, compelling, and like you put a little bit of your soul into it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas YouTube, streaming, sometimes you can just start the go live button, and your intro is like, I'm just doing whatever the fuck I want today, and you're just chilling, and you just laid back, and that's it. The thing is, like, I use streaming to dodge responsibilities sometimes. So like, it's like I don't want to do like other shit. Fuck it, I'm gonna hit the live stream button. Okay, 12 hours have passed. I can go to sleep. And I wake up tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I really need to do something. I'm gonna hit the start stream button again. I'm gonna push back my responsibilities for like a week. I think that like while you're happy to have Trash Taste as the thing to just fall back on. Yeah. I'm happy to have OTV as like a creative outlet.
Right.
For me to like sit down with my friends as well to just like either shoot the shit or create cool content, like that keeps me going. So like we found like similar outcomes fulfilling the things that we needed.
Yeah.
Hilariously enough.
Just start something with a group of friends, right?
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Exactly. And so like, yeah, I find it like reverse of you, where I find sometimes streaming is very routine. It's really easy to get comfortable. I hate being comfortable. I want to be a little stressed all the time.
Yeah.
And so like if I'm ever too comfortable, I'm always just like, I'm in a bad spot.
Right.
Kind of. So yeah, I think streaming can do that with you too much.
Right. God, the idea of just pressing the go live button and not having a plan, that like terrifies me. I'd like, because I think like a YouTuber, so I think, okay, what's the angle of this content that I'm making? How do I clickbait this? You know, like it's so hard for me just to like switch off that part of my brain. Like even when I stream with like the idea that this is going to be a YouTube video that I can also like repurpose as well. So I always think about it as like YouTube first and then streaming if I want to stream as well. So, are you the same way, or do you just?
So I used to be like when I came back to Twitch at the end of last year, I kind of tried to do like one idea every stream for YouTube, and it was doing pretty well, but it's really hard to keep up, especially something that's both good for YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah.
Which is hard because there are some things where, you know, it's designed for one or the other, and you're trying to go down the middle, kind of subpar in both aspects.
Right.
So I kind of just stopped that and just stuck to uploading Among Us videos because at the end of the day, like the way I see YouTube, it's like, man, is it about the views? Like, because I can do like something cooler for like 400K views, or I can do Among Us for 1 million views. Right?
Bro, that's like soul crushing, right? You spend like fucking hours, like days of your time.
Yeah.
Putting yourself into this one project? No, Among Us.
Yeah. Like, I mean, people just really like Among Us.
Yeah.
But I think I can't pinpoint exactly what about it is so interesting. Is like, because when I play Among Us, it's after a whole year of nonstop Among Us, I'm like, I know what's gonna happen. Someone's gonna die, someone's gonna call a meeting, and I can just do everyone's voices because everyone's kind of like on a script almost.
Right.
But people just keep watching. I think people just like the back and forth, and people like watching you be good at something. It's like people watching like a professional chef. You don't know the first thing about cooking, but it's mesmerizing to see like someone who's good at their craft.
Yeah.
And I'm great at Among Us.
If only there was a pro Among Us scene, right?
Yeah. Like esports.
Where's the Among Us esports, right?
If only.
Because like one thing I did notice recently is, you know, going back to talking about how this could be a career, is that I've seen like plenty of creators now really like, you know, drop off a bit, but like they're able to like come back now. So I feel like, you know, like even looking at Ray William Johnson, you know, top of YouTube for a while, did =3 and then just kind of stopped doing YouTube, and now he's just like come back via YouTube Shorts and TikTok, and that's insane to me that he's relevant again, right? But it's given me like the confidence to feel that even like I feel like online careers can like come in waves. Like, it's rare that you're constantly growing, but even if you like have a few years where you like have a lower viewership, you can just as easily do something exciting and like bounce back and things like that, which has kind of helped me in terms of looking at this as something long term, as opposed to waking up every year and thinking I'm going to be like irrelevant tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I like YouTube because I feel like if you're good and you understand what people want, you can always be somewhat relevant.
Yeah.
Whereas in streaming, you do get streamers who are like really good at one specific game, and the moment that game drops off, they lose 90% of the audience because they do not translate any of the highs into like themselves or like their personality, which happens a lot in gaming. Yeah, because I used to be like a Hearthstone streamer, so I paid attention to like the other guys. Most of them lost 70% of the average viewership because Hearthstone kind of died off, and only a couple managed to kind of like transition to some other things. And streamers, they don't have that much foresight because luck has a lot more to do with streaming than YouTube. I feel like YouTube, there's a bit of luck, but at the end of the day, if you're making banger content with good editing, good audio, you're gonna get views no matter what.
Yeah.
Whereas in streaming, it's like, there's a lot of luck involved.
I think the only part of streaming that's not lucky is if you're the best at the game. If you're the rank one, you could be on like fucking the shittiest audio, like no mic, with blaring music, like your cam doesn't work, or like your video quality doesn't work, but people watch because, especially if it's a popular game, people want to know.
Right.
There's just someone feel different watching. I think that's the only way on Twitch you can go from 0 to hero.
Yeah.
If you're the absolute best at a popular game.
So would you say that it's like almost impossible to like, how can I ask this? It's like, can someone aspire to be a streamer and think that they have a decent chance if